Chapter 391. What? Wu Nian was surprised by Emo Shue's sudden question. Emo Shue smirked. Mr. Gu usually doesn't want to talk to Avril. He doesn't even look at her. Every time he shows up, you will be there. Don't tell me that you don't know each other. Wu Nian understood and smiled. I can't believe we are fated to meet each other. Are you guys related? If there is no relationship, why would he give this cooperation to you? Emo Shue said aggressively. The last time I went to Stephen's Island, Mr. Gu was there too. There was an accident and they all thought that I saved them. I think that's probably the reason. There's a bit of luck involved. In fact, most of the successful people from ancient times to the present had a bit of luck. I'm lucky. Very well, if you work with me, I believe you will be lucky too. Wu Nian said with a smile. You're eloquent. I'll think about it. The word think was mostly an excuse. Often after thinking about it, there would be endless waiting. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you'll let me know tomorrow. My company is in the jewelry business. If you don't agree, I'll have to go to Sri Lanka. There are some jewelers there to talk to. Wu Nian nodded. Wait, didn't you come here to talk to me? Emo Shue was suspicious and a little angry. My boss heard that you're looking for a partner in Country A, so he came here immediately. After all, he's familiar with Country X. He's also familiar with you. But if you don't like us, we can only look for other suppliers. To be honest, no matter who we work with, we'll take 80% of the market. You know that the sales of luxury goods mainly rely on reputation and connections. My company already has connections. As for reputation, it's in the operation. How to operate is explained clearly in my proposal. If you have other things to do, I won't disturb you anymore. I'll wait for your good news. Wu Nian nodded. Emo Shue's expression softened. Since you're here, have dinner before you leave. The manor is huge. I'll let Avril show you around. Then I'll do as you say. Wu Nian smiled politely. Emo Shue called Avril and Avril came up. Let's go, pretty girl, Avril said with a smile. She walked over and held onto Wu Nian's arm. Other than Lu Shuang, Wu Nian wasn't used to being so close to other girls. He felt uncomfortable because he wasn't familiar with them. Qing, I'm taking her to the manor to play. Do you want to come along? Avril called out to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing glanced at Wu Nian's face and stood up. Wu Nian's heart trembled and he lowered his eyes. If Emo Shue didn't mention it, she wouldn't have noticed it. Now that she thought about it, it seemed that he really went wherever she went. Avril watched as Gu Lingqing left. She ran towards Gu Lingqing excitedly and held onto Gu Lingqing's arm. Let me show you the most magical castle in X City. It has a history of 500 years. My mother said that the princess used to live in it. Castle. She still remembered that when she came back from America, she received a strange case. She went to the castle and found many corpses in the attic. Ever since that incident, she didn't have a good impression of any castle. Emo Shue's manor had a special car. The driver drove. Avril got in first and sat in the first row. Gu Lingqing waited for Wu Nian to get in the car. Wu Nian sat in the second row. Hurry up, Qing, Avril said enthusiastically. Gu Lingqing got in the car and sat in the last row. He looked to the left. Avril looked at Gu Lingqing. She was a little disappointed that he didn't sit with her. The castle was at the northernmost part of the manor. It only took 5 minutes to get there. Avril jumped out of the car and stood in the last row. Wu Nian had a strange feeling. He pretended to be calm and got out of the car. Gu Lingqing glanced at Wu Nian from the corner of his eyes. He frowned slightly and got out of the car. Avril held onto Gu Lingqing's arm and said coquettishly, "Can you sit with me from now on? I think I've made myself very clear last time." Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice, "I don't mind you having 2 kids. I also don't mind you having a wife. Anyway, your wife isn't in X City. You can look for me when you come," Avril said generously. Wu Nian was speechless. The women in X country were really open-minded. It was a different country with a different culture. She definitely couldn't adapt to X country. Gu Lingqing took Avril's hand away. "Please behave yourself." "All right. Just think of it as me thinking too much. I won't give up anyway." Avril walked towards the castle. The castle was very dark. He couldn't see anything. A warm hand held onto Wu Nian's hand. The palm was a little rough. There were only her, Avril, and Gu Lingqing here. Other than Gu Lingqing, there was no one else. Avril turned on the flashlight on her phone. Wu Nian instinctively pulled his hand back and looked at Gu Lingqing. He was completely hidden in the darkness. His expression couldn't be seen. Avril used the light from her phone to light up the oil lamp. She turned off the flashlight and explained, "My mother said that when we visit the castle, we should use an oil lamp. It's better in the dark." "Your mother likes excitement. Or rather, she likes to provoke people," Wu Nian said calmly. Avril laughed. "I think so. Every time there are guests, she likes to let them enter the castle. Haha. Then she will watch them run out in panic." Huh. Wu Nian's lips twitched. He looked at the wall. Some of the paintings on the wall were very bloody. Under the dim light, it was especially scary. But to her, it was just child's play. She had seen many dead people and performed many surgeries. She didn't believe in spirits at all. Since she didn't believe in them, she wouldn't be afraid. Avril stopped in front of a painting and said, "This painting is of a pirate. This pirate's story is a little tragic. Rumor has it that he was cursed and could only stay in the Caribbean Sea. But a soldier didn't believe it. He forcefully brought him out of the Caribbean Sea and hanged him. Before he died, he said that he would steal the souls of everyone who saw his face. It must be a scary story." "It does sound scary," Wu Nian replied. Avril walked up the stairs. Wu Nian followed. When she passed by the painting of the pirate, she heard a cold laugh. She looked at the painting of the pirate. The pirate, who had a serious expression on his face, had a creepy smile. Gu Lingqing saw it too. He put his hand on her waist. Wu Nian knew that he wanted to protect her. She was touched. She purposely made him angry in the morning. He left angrily, but he ordered lunch for her. Now he was protecting her meticulously. Chapter 392. Seeing that the people behind her didn't respond, Avril turned around and looked at the picture. She said in horror, "What's going on? Weren't the pirates smiling just now? Why are they smiling now?" This is a two-sided drawing. Because of the position and lighting, the angle of view is different, so you'll see a different picture, Wu Nian explained. "Oh, I see. Qing, I'm a little scared. Can you hold my hand and walk?" Avril said to Gu Lingqing. Wu Nian chuckled. Gu Lingqing pinched her waist for a moment before letting go of her. Avril heard Wu Nian's laughter and asked, "What are you laughing at?" "Your mother is very cute," Wu Nian said meaningfully. "She's so pitiful that no one loves her." "Let's continue up," Avril said. Suddenly, something fell from above. Avril screamed in shock. Wu Nian was caught off guard. He was also shocked and took a step back. Avril shone the oil lamp on the ground. There was nothing. She asked Gu Lingqing in horror, "Qing, do you see anything? I'm scared." Gu Lingqing took the oil lamp from her hand and said to her in a low voice, "You're a little timid, and you're always so jumpy. I can tour around here by myself. If you're afraid, you can wait outside." Avril was speechless. She came here often. Why would she be scared? She wanted Gu Lingqing to protect her, but he didn't even bother to look at her. "Are you scared?" Avril asked Wu Nian. "How about we turn on the light and make it brighter? We can see better," Wu Nian suggested. She wasn't scared at all. The scariest thing in the world wasn't these ghosts, but the human heart. "There's no light here. It's best not to use a flashlight. Otherwise you'll see something unexpected," Avril muttered. "So, do you mean to let us look or not?" Gu Lingqing asked coldly. "Do you want to see? If so, I'll take you in. If not, I'll take you out," Avril said. "Then let's go," Gu Lingqing said and walked in front. Avril held Gu Lingqing's arm. Wu Nian stood behind them and walked downstairs. Gu Lingqing tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. He frowned and looked at Avril. "How do I open the door?" "Just pull." Avril tried, but it wouldn't budge. She pulled with both hands, but it still wouldn't budge. She angrily knocked on the door. "Is there anyone outside? Open up, Slack. Open up." Slack was the chauffeur who had driven them there, and no one answered. Avril frowned and kicked the door hard. "Open, Edie." Avril said. She picked up her phone and prepared to make a call, but there was no signal at all. She looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise and asked, Qing, is there a signal on your phone? Gu Lingqing took out his phone. Ariel craned her neck to see. There was no signal on Gu Lingqing's phone either. She was astonished. How could it be? There's usually a signal here. What the hell? Is it fun? I'll take a break first. Gu Lingqing put the oil lamp on the coffee table and sat on the sofa. I'm not playing. I really didn't ask anyone to lock the door. I'm not lying to you, Avril said anxiously. Gu Lingqing paid no attention to her. Avril knocked on the door. Sykes, open up. If you don't, I'll fire you. Slack. There was still no sound from outside. Wu Nian held Avril's hand. Her palms were sweaty from fear. Wu Nian frowned and looked at Gu Lingqing. Mr. Gu, Avril didn't lie. She really didn't lock the door. Come and sit. Since she didn't lock the door, nobody would listen to her, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian held Avril's hand and sat in front of Gu Lingqing. What's going on? The people in the manor know that I'm a coward. I don't dare to lock the door. I'm so scared. Avril looked at Gu Lingqing in fear. Your mother will come looking for you in half a day. You can sit here if you're scared. Don't go anywhere, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Then where are you going? Avril sat next to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything. She looked at Wu Nian. Wu Nian lowered her head. She wasn't a troublemaker. Since Avril didn't do it on purpose, she was worried about other dangers. It was safer for everyone to sit together. Emo Shui would probably come looking for her at night. No one said anything. Avril leaned closer and closer to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing frowned and stood up. Where are you going? Avril asked worriedly. The washroom. There should be one here, right? Gu Lingqing asked. Yes, I'll take you there. Avril stood up and walked towards the washroom. Gu Lingqing went into the washroom. Seeing that Avril didn't leave, he frowned and reached out to close the door. Avril pushed the door and said worriedly, You didn't lock the door. I'm scared. I'm sorry. We're men and women. Gu Lingqing closed the door forcefully. He washed his hands and came out. Avril wasn't there. He walked to the sofa. Wu Nian used his phone's flashlight to illuminate the room. Where is she? Wu Nian asked. She didn't come back? Gu Lingqing was suspicious. Wu Nian shook her head. She kept saying she was scared. She still sticks to you. You're back, but she hasn't. Could something have happened to her? Avril. Wu Nian shouted loudly. No one answered her. The cold wind in the castle sounded like the laughter of the devil. Avril. Wu Nian shouted again. Still no one answered her. She was worried. She looked at Gu Lingqing and said, Let's look around. Something doesn't feel right. Why do I feel like it's a prank? She purposely led us to look at the pirate map. She purposely made a fuss, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. She did it on purpose at the beginning, but after the door was locked, she didn't do it on purpose anymore. When I held her hand, her palm was covered in cold sweat. It was secreted out of fear. She couldn't fake it, Wu Nian said in a deep voice. He stood up and walked towards the line of defense in the washroom, shouting, Avril. Gu Lingqing followed behind Wu Nian. She shone the flashlight downstairs. That door was closed when we came in. It's open now. Wu Nian immediately walked towards the door. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Stand behind me. Wu Nian thought for a moment and stood behind Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing walked towards the door and scanned the room with the flashlight. There were a few dark paintings, a fireplace, a table for wooden chairs and a rocking chair. The chairs were still shaking. Someone was in this room just now, Wu Nian said. There are two possibilities. One, it's a prank. Two, Avril was drugged, Gu Lingqing said. Chapter 393. Do you think it was done by one person or two? Gu Lingqing asked. No less than two people. They drugged Avril and didn't let the lamp fall to the ground. One person couldn't have done it. The one who locked the door didn't come in from the front door because the door was locked from the outside. If the one who locked the door came in, then there must be another way in. Wu Nian walked to the fireplace and looked at the ashes inside. Gu Lingqing, look. Gu Lingqing walked over and saw the drag marks on the ground. I'll go take a look. He went in and quickly came out. Oil splashed down from above. Then there were more than 10 pieces of wood that were on fire. When the wood came into contact with the oil, it burst into flames. Gu Lingqing pulled Wu Nian's hand and took 3 steps back. Break the door, Gu Lingqing said. He picked up a chair, walked out, and smashed it against the door. Once, twice, 3 times. On the 6th time, the door was smashed open. Sykes had been stabbed in the neck. He was lying on the steering wheel with blood all over the ground. Wu Nian put his hand under Sykes's nose. He was already dead. He shook his head at Gu Lingqing. Run forward and call Mo Shui when there's a signal. Tell her to close the door and get the surveillance footage immediately, Gu Lingqing said. He climbed onto the roof of the car and looked around. I see them. There are 3 of them. I'll go after them. Gu Lingqing jumped off the roof of the car and quickly ran toward the north gate. Wu Nian immediately called Mo Shui when there was a signal. Mo Shui, something happened. Someone kidnapped Avril. Send someone to the north gate immediately. After saying that, Wu Nian hung up the phone and ran towards the north gate. Gu Lingqing saw the 3 people shoving Avril into the van and grabbing the door. Gu Lingqing, be careful, Wu Nian shouted worriedly. Gu Lingqing jumped into the van. Another person was kicked out of the other door. When the man's companion saw that his companion had been attacked, he immediately got out of the car with a knife in his hand and warned fiercely, "Mind your own business." Gu Lingqing looked at the 2 masked men coldly and rushed over. He was so fast that one of the masked men's hands was restrained by him, and the knife fell to the ground. The other wanted to help, but Gu Lingqing grabbed his wrist and pressed him against the car door. The man on the ground clutched his stomach and crawled up. When he saw Mo Shui's men coming over, he immediately ran away. Catch him, Mo Shui said harshly. Some of the bodyguards ran towards the escaping man, while the rest helped Gu Lingqing to pin down the 2 men. Where is Avril? Mo Shui asked Wu Nian. In the car, Wu Nian said. The butler opened the car door and carried Avril out. He reported to Mo Shui, "Mrs. Unconscious." Mo Shui angrily took off the mask of the masked man and asked in surprise, "It's you?" The masked man lowered his head in panic. "You know him?" Stephen asked. "My nephew. He's a lazy man who likes to eat, drink, and gamble. Last week, he borrowed 2 million from me, but I refused. I didn't expect him to do such a crazy thing." Mo Shui was so angry that her teeth itched. "Auntie, you have so much money. What's wrong with giving me 2 million? If I don't pay you back next week, my hand will be gone." "That's your business. I won't give you my money. Send him to the police station," Mo Shui said coldly. "It seems that you're in a bad mood today. I won't disturb you anymore. I'll continue painting for you tomorrow," Stephen said. Mo Shui rolled her eyes at him. "I didn't get my money from the ground. Both of them are scheming against me." "You're so smart. Who can scheme against you? If you think that the person I introduced is unreliable, then don't cooperate with him. This is your freedom. Don't exaggerate the truth," Stephen said unhappily. "Then why did you suddenly paint for me? Don't tell me that you don't want anything. I don't believe you," Mo Shui said harshly. "Heh." Stephen sneered. "You're always like this. I'm glad that I didn't marry you. Since you think that I want something from you, then let's end it. I won't paint for you." Stephen turned around. Mo Shui held his hand. Stephen didn't look at her. "I'm in a bad mood, so I'm talking nonsense. My daughter was almost kidnapped and my servant was killed. Please understand me," Mo Shui said apologetically. "Mo Shui." Stephen called her. He looked at her from the corner of his eyes. "I've finished painting for you. Consider it a full stop between us. Don't look for me in the future." Mo Shui pursed her lips and looked at him. "Have you ever liked me? I like your straightforwardness. I like your honesty. I also like that you're never pretentious. When I was young and frivolous, I would experiment. Now that I'm older, I know what's suitable for me." "You're not," Stephen said in a low voice. "Then you don't have to paint for me." "I don't care," Mo Shui said angrily as she let go of Stephen's hand. Stephen walked towards the front. Mo Shui stomped her feet. "Come back." Stephen didn't turn around. He disappeared into the shade. Wu Nian raised her eyebrows. Mo Shui used her unreasonable behavior to push the man away. Her and Gu Lingqing? She looked at Gu Lingqing subconsciously. Gu Lingqing was also looking at her. Wu Nian's heart trembled. She lowered her head guiltily. Hey that. Miss Wu, right? I agree to your conditions. When do you want to sign the contract? Mo Shui said angrily. My company will send someone over to sign the contract. When do you have time? Wu Nian said politely. Mo Shui paused. She looked in the direction where Stephen disappeared and said, tomorrow. Wu Nian called Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang was in a good mood. He told Shen Yiyan that Shen Yiyan would send someone over to sign the contract. On the way back, Mo Shui sent a car for her and Gu Lingqing. Wu Nian looked out of the window. She didn't talk to Gu Lingqing the whole time. The driver sent her to the hotel. Gu Lingqing also got out of the car. Wu Nian got into the elevator. He followed her into the elevator. When she came out of the elevator, Gu Lingqing also came out of the elevator. Wu Nian stopped. She thought about it. Maybe Gu Lingqing also booked a room on this floor. It was on the way to her. He didn't follow her on purpose. She continued to walk. She opened the door. When she turned around, Gu Lingqing was still standing behind her. Before she said anything, he pushed the door open and sat on the sofa. Wu Nian. Gu Lingqing looked at Wu Nian, who was standing at the door, and asked, Are you still angry? No. Wu Nian regretted it the moment she said it. She should have been unreasonable. Gu Lingqing's eyes softened a little. Come here. The correct way to open the door should be, why should I go there? But before she said it, she had already walked over and sat down opposite him. Gu Lingqing stood up and put his hands on both sides of her body. Go to France with me tomorrow. Chapter 394. Wu Nian looked into his eyes that were as vast as the stars and felt as though he was being sucked in. She rejected it rationally, but her heart was moving in the opposite direction. She had always wanted to travel with him, but she didn't have the chance. Could she go this time? His words of I don't know you, and there's no one who knows me, hit the spot that moved her the most. If you go, how long will you be gone? Wu Nian asked. Gu Lingqing smiled. I'll listen to you. If you want to spend more time, I'll accompany you for a few more days. If you want to come back, I'll come back with you. His words resolved her worries once again. Okay, then let's not meet tonight to avoid suspicion. I'll see you in Paris, Wu Nian replied. Gu Lingqing lowered his head and kissed her lips deeply. There was no hidden joy in his eyes. He said softly, I'll see you in Paris. Gu Lingqing went out. She checked out of the room and went back to pack her luggage. Since the cooperation was successful, Lu Shuang's trip was imminent. She needed to have a good talk with Alan. Wu Nian booked a flight ticket to London that night on her way back. She didn't tell Gu Lingqing. She arrived at the waiting room at 9 o'clock in the evening. She calculated the time. Country X was 7 hours ahead of England. It was 9 o'clock in the evening here, so it should be 2 o'clock in the afternoon in London. Wu Nian called Alan. Alan answered and smiled. Have you had dinner? Yes, I booked a flight to London. I'll arrive in London tomorrow morning, Wu Nian said straightforwardly. Really? Really? Alan was excited. I have something to talk to you about, Wu Nian said apologetically. Alan's eyes darkened, but he still replied politely. Okay, your flight is at 9:50 p.m. in Country X? Yes. Call me when you arrive. I'll pick you up at the airport, Alan said like a gentleman. Okay. Wu Nian hung up the phone and went to the pantry to drink some water. He took a disposable cup and poured half a cup of cold water into it before mixing it with some hot water. I saw you from afar. I thought I was mistaken. Why? Are you going to London? Su Jiaran's voice rang out. Wu Nian looked back at him calmly and nodded. Mr. Su, are you going back to China? Su Jiaran had a strange look on his face. Do you want to hear my story? Wu Nian chuckled and glanced at the time. My plane leaves at 9:50, so I should be boarding 20 minutes earlier. You have half an hour to talk. Su Jiaran also smiled, but there was a hint of bitterness in his smile. You are indeed not her. She is sharper than you, and she won't give me a chance to speak for half an hour. You mean, Baya? Wu Nian asked. Su Jiran nodded. She is my wife. Wu Nian raised the corner of his mouth. Gu Lingqing also said that she is his wife. She married me first and then they divorced, so she married Gu Lingqing. However, they also divorced, so she is now free, Su Jiran explained. It sounds like an interesting and complicated story, but Wu Nian paused. With all due respect, you are not as infatuated as Gu Lingqing. At least he was happy for the rest of his life. Your private life is a bit hard to accept. If she comes back, I will definitely not be like this. Su Jiran smiled bitterly. I also feel dirty. A man's loyalty is not when he is affectionate and loving. However, when he is alone in an empty room. Obviously you can't do it, Mr. Su. Many men also go out to find other women after their women are pregnant. For them, the fault is that the woman cannot satisfy them. Do you think it is really the woman who is wrong? Is it really the women who are wrong? Wu Nian said with a smile. Su Jiran's eyes dimmed. So I am destined not to get the woman I love, right? What is love? I don't think Mr. Su understands it. I think you don't love Baya. If you love her from the bottom of your heart, even if another woman stands in front of you naked, you will restrain yourself if you think that once you have a relationship with another woman, you will let Baya down. But obviously Mr. Su doesn't, Wu Nian said indifferently. I just want to use this method to temporarily numb myself, forget her, and find other substitutes, but I can't forget her. You can't forget her, not because of love, but because of other factors. For example, you can't get her, you are hurt, and you are unwilling. What makes people remember for a lifetime is not love. Love is forgetful, and it is something that will become thinner and thinner as time goes on. The longer we spend with our so-called lover, the more we forget how to love each other. On the contrary, unwillingness and hurt will be remembered for a lifetime, because every day, you will wake up because of unwillingness, and you will repeat the process of unwillingness every day. Therefore, unwillingness is something that will be remembered deeply, Wu Nian explained. Then how can I forget unwillingness? I live in pain every day, or it is more appropriate to describe it with the words living is worse than dying, Su Jiran said sadly. Wu Nian smiled. Use other more meaningful things to transform it, such as the dream you had when you were young, or a greater career, or to feel the kindness of the people around you, or perhaps find a suitable woman to fall in love with. It is difficult to let go, and when the day comes, you will be able to let go. If you do, you will be able to reap happiness. Why make things difficult for yourself? Then can I chase you? I promise, those ridiculous things in the past will not happen again, and I will start from a good start, Su Jiran said, seemingly sincere. No. Wu Nian directly refused, because I have a boyfriend. I am sorry, you should find a girl who does not have a boyfriend. A wrong start is the source of pain. You said that Alan will not marry you, I promise, Su Jiran said with certainty. Whether you marry me or not, it has nothing to do with Mr. Su. Wu Nian took a sip of water. Su Jiran looked at her and did not leave. In the end, did Mo Shui cooperate with you, or with Gu Lingqing? I saw that he also went to Mo Shui's manor this morning. I think you should know who the boss behind me is, right? Although Gu Lingqing's family is prominent, luxury accessories are not his strong point. Mo Shui is not stupid, he should know who to cooperate with, Wu Nian said implicitly. Even if she did not say who Mo Shui cooperated with, Su Jiran would soon know. She did not need to hide it. You are such an excellent employee. I don't know what condition I have to recruit you, Su Jiran said with a smile. He put on what he thought was the best, most sincere, and most charming smile. Wu Nian admitted that Su Jiran had a good appearance. I helped Shenian because Lu Shuang is my friend. In fact, I am not his employee, I am a teacher. Chapter 395. Wu Nian recalled the time when he first met Su Jiran. He knew that she majored in medicine. She said that he knew all the directors of the hospitals in City A and could arrange jobs for her. Wu Nian laughed. You seem to have forgotten Shenian's status. It's easy for me to find a job, but I want to rely on myself. You don't have to worry about me. So, you're not going to give me any chance? Su Jiaran said disappointedly. Giving you a chance will only make you pay. The more you pay, the more unwilling you will be. Knowing that it is impossible, it is better to nip it in the bud. Before the plane takes off, I want to go to the bathroom. Is there anything else, Mr. Su? Wu Nian asked politely. Can I see you again in the future? Su Jiaran asked. Since it's impossible, there's no need to waste time. The next time we meet, if it's not necessary, we'll just treat each other as strangers. Wu Nian didn't give him any chance at all. Su Jiaran's possessiveness was too terrifying. If he couldn't have it, he would destroy it. She had provoked him once, and she would never provoke him again. She walked to the washroom. Worried that Su Jiaran was waiting outside, she purposely stayed in the washroom for more than 10 minutes. When she came out of the bathroom, the passengers on her flight were already lining up. Wu Nian lowered his head and walked to the back of the line. He took out his phone and played with my Hank the dog. The dog had slept for a long time. It needed to go to the toilet and eat, and its body was dirty. Wu Nian helped the dog to use the toilet, take a bath, and eat a meal. She had leveled up to 48. After playing monkey catcher for a while, they boarded the plane. Su Jiaran did not come to disturb them. Wu Nian heaved a sigh of relief and boarded the plane. She laid down in her seat and closed her eyes to take a nap. Can I exchange seats with you? I'm in the first-class cabin up front. When Wu Nian heard Su Jiaran's voice, he opened his eyes in surprise and looked at him. The others would definitely be more than happy to go to the first-class seats. Su Jiaran sat down beside Wu Nian with a devilish smile. I have a client in London. I'm going there too. Wu Nian. Su Jiaran's way of wooing women was really fierce. If she didn't know him so well, a normal girl would probably fall for such a handsome, rich, and extravagant man, just like her in the past. She did not expose him, nor did she reply. She closed her eyes and pretended to sleep. Su Jiaran also lay down and looked at her. Wu Nian turned around so that his back was facing him. Beauty, bring me 2 blankets, Su Jiaran said to the stewardess. The stewardess brought 2 new blankets with a smile. Su Jiaran unwrapped them and covered Wu Nian. Wu Nian did not move. He continued to close his eyes and pretended to sleep. After a long time, he finally fell asleep. She was awakened by the broadcast. They were almost in London. Wu Nian looked at the time. It was 5:45 in the morning. When he opened the curtains, the sun was not out yet. At this time, you should be able to see the sunrise on the plane. The moment when the sun breaks through the clouds is very beautiful. Su Jiaran said with a smile. Wu Nian replied. I'm going to the washroom. Su Jiaran let her pass. Wu Nian went to the washroom to wash up. Because there were many people waiting in line, she did not stay long and returned to her seat. Alan is coming to pick you up? Su Jiaran asked. Wu Nian took out her makeup from her bag, put on some honey lotion and lipstick. Su Jiaran kept looking at her. How long have you been dating Alan? Wu Nian looked at him. Not long. Why? If only I knew you before Alan. Su Jiaran said regretfully. Wu Nian smiled. Actually, even if you knew me before Alan, it would not change the situation. To be honest, Mr. Su is not my type. What type do you like? An English gentleman like Alan? Su Jiaran asked curiously. Loyalty, Wu Nian said concisely. Su Jiaran smiled bitterly. If I told you that I stayed chaste for my wife for 3 years, and was even willing to become a eunuch for her, would you believe me? I would, but aren't you ready to pursue me now? Didn't you ask me to let it go? Su Jiaran asked. Wu Nian smiled. Her smile was bright and beautiful, like a flower blooming. The sun had also broken through the clouds, and sunlight shone through the window onto her face. So, people stand from different perspectives, and the direction in which they consider the problem is also different. In the end, everyone feels that they are reasonable, and resent each other for not understanding. In fact, it can only prove one thing. These 2 people have different views on life and values, and they cannot live together. Then I'll change, right? What do you want me to do? Su Jiaran was a little annoyed. The plane was already descending, and the radio was saying that the plane was about to arrive in Paris. The passengers were asked to stay in their seats and not move. Wu Nian looked at Su Jiran. There are a few key elements to a happy marriage. First, the two of you must share the same values. Second, you must share the same values. Third, you must be loyal. For example, if a girl passed by a beggar every day, she would give the beggar 10 yuan. Do you think this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing? That depends on the relationship between the beggar and the girl. It also depends on the girl's experience and strength. Or, did anything special happen in her life recently? You can't generalize whether it's right or wrong. Su Jiran said in a dialectical way. Wu Nian smiled. For me, whether the girl is right or wrong has nothing to do with me. I don't care. After all, it's someone else's business. There's no need to make irresponsible remarks. Su Jiran was speechless. Let's talk about values. In order to pursue a girl, you spend a lot of money. A first-class seat from country X to London costs about $3,500, right? Wu Nian asked. Su Jiran didn't say anything. It doesn't matter if you're not my husband. But if you're my husband and do this kind of thing, you won't be able to live a good life. That also depends on the person's financial strength. $3,500 is about the same as 1 cent to me. Su Jiran said unhappily. So our values are not the same. I'm not a romantic person. What I want is to live a down-to-earth life. Well, Mr. Su, I think I've said enough. I wish you a pleasant journey. Wu Nian smiled. The plane arrived at the airport. She wanted to get out first. Su Jiran stopped her and didn't let her out. He looked at her deeply. Didn't I say it? I'll change your request. You can just take care of the money in the future. I don't like to take care of other people's money. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Wu Nian said coldly. Su Jiran furrowed his brows and opened up a path. Wu Nian got off the plane and turned on her phone. Her phone was full of messages. Most of them were from Gu Lingqing. Wu Nian took a deep breath and called Gu Lingqing first. Chapter 396. Wu Nian's eyes widened. Remembering that Su Jiran was still behind them, she wanted to pull Gu Lingqing away before she could explain in detail. Gu Lingqing's face was cold, and she flung her hand away. Wu Nian was stunned. She knew that Gu Lingqing was angry, so she walked forward with her head down. Gu Lingqing gritted his teeth, held her arm, turned around, and walked to the other side. There were 2 guards stationed at the exit on the other side. Gu Lingqing handed the ID to the guard, and the guard scanned it before letting them in. After they got out of the exit, Gu Lingqing did not say anything and continued to pull her forward. Wu Nian saw that there was almost no one here, so he roughly guessed that this was the private jet channel. He pulled her into the lounge, let go of her hand, and looked at her coldly. He said in a low voice, "Tell me, the reason why you came to London." Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing deeply. It was best for a person not to lie. Otherwise, they needed to use more lies to maintain the lie. If they lied too much, it was easy for them to not be able to turn back. And a lie was not the truth. If they were not careful, logical errors would occur. Alan and I had a beginning. Since it's going to end, I think it's better to say it face to face, Wu Nian said in a low voice. Gu Lingqing's fierce expression softened a little. Since it's a breakup, you can tell me. Do you know how worried I was about you? Breaking up with Alan is my business. I said yesterday that we should not contact each other anymore. We will contact each other when we arrive in Paris. Wu Nian explained. So it's my fault? Gu Lingqing asked in return, looking at her with burning eyes. Wu Nian took a step forward and hugged Gu Lingqing's waist. She leaned her face against his chest and felt his warm body temperature. She said softly, I'm very surprised that you came to London. I thought that you really like me, so I rushed over. But Gu Lingqing, I need some space. The feeling of restraint. Gu Lingqing lowered his head and looked at her. I'm not trying to restrict you. I just want to know what you're thinking. Wu Nian looked up at him. His eyes were red. She guessed that he hadn't slept the entire night, and he hadn't slept much last night either. Her heart ached for him. Didn't I break up with Alan? I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry, and I was even more afraid that you wouldn't allow it. That would put me in a difficult position. You came here to break up. How could I not allow it? You can't do this in the future. Although I have a bad temper, I'm not an unreasonable person. You. Gu Lingqing paused. You'll find out in the future. Then I will try my best to find out. One more thing, Su Jiaran has also come to London. Don't let him see you. A hint of suspicion flashed across Gu Lingqing's eyes. He's also in London? If I remember correctly, he should be returning to China. We met on the same plane. Gu Lingqing understood. He's courting you. I won't like him, and I've made it very clear to him. It's just that I don't want him to know about our relationship. Wu Nian looked down. Are you afraid that he'll cause trouble? Or are you afraid that he'll hurt me? Gu Lingqing asked tentatively. Gu Lingqing, I have my reasons that I don't want others to know, but I don't want to tell you now. Maybe I'll be willing to tell you everything one day, but not now. So don't test me, okay? Wu Nian pleaded gently. Gu Lingqing thought for 15 seconds and nodded. Okay, how long do you need to stay in London? I should be going to France tomorrow. If I meet Su Jiaran at the airport tomorrow, he'll probably go to France with you again. I'll stay here and take my private jet tomorrow. It's safe, and I don't have to worry about anything. Gu Lingqing said domineeringly. Wu Nian thought for a moment. Okay, then I won't contact you today. I'll contact you tomorrow. Gu Lingqing frowned. Do you need that long to break up? You didn't sleep well last night, so rest well today, Wu Nian explained. Do you think I can rest well if I don't hear from you? Gu Lingqing asked in return. Then I'll call you at noon. Wu Nian corrected herself. Gu Lingqing's expression softened a little. Okay. Then I'll go out first, Wu Nian said softly. Although Gu Lingqing was reluctant, she still let her go. Wu Nian walked out of the lounge. The people on her plane had all left, and the corridor was much emptier than before. Almost everyone was gathered at the luggage check-in area. The luggage was not out yet. She walked over and saw Su Jiaran standing at the furthest place from him, looking at the luggage exit. She thought for a moment and called Alan. Alan picked up the call. I heard the announcement. You've arrived. Are you getting your luggage? Alan asked with a smile. Yes. I'm still waiting. I'll come over now, Alan said and hung up the phone. Wu Nian looked behind her but did not see Alan. After a while, the luggage came out of the conveyor belt. Wu Nian saw her luggage and was about to walk over. She felt someone hugging her waist. Xiao Nian. Alan called her, lowered his head and kissed her on the cheek. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat, and she looked at Alan. Alan smiled brightly. I missed you so much. Wu Nian was silent for a moment. My luggage is out. I'll help you. Which one? Alan asked and held Wu Nian's hand. Because Su Jiaran was there, Wu Nian did not shake him off. She pointed at the sky-blue leather suitcase. Alan let go of Wu Nian's hand and went forward to take the suitcase down. My car is outside. Follow me. Wu Nian followed behind Alan. She did not look back at Su Jiaran. She took a deep breath and looked at Alan's side profile. Her eyes were dark. Alan took her out of the airport. He drove a Lamborghini. I've booked a hotel for you. Go back to the hotel and rest first. Let's have lunch together. My grandmother wants to see you, Alan said with a smile. Wu Nian did not have the heart to break up now. However, although some words were cruel, they had to be said. Alan, I have something to tell you, Wu Nian said. Huh? Alan looked at Wu Nian's face and smiled. Get in the car first. He opened the car door in a gentlemanly manner. Wu Nian sat in the car while Alan drove. Wu Nian did not say anything. It was not a good time to talk while driving. He stopped in front of the Histon Hotel. He unbuckled his seatbelt and was about to open the car door when Wu Nian held his arm. Alan glanced at Wu Nian's hand and looked up in the direction of her arm. Alan, can I trust you? Wu Nian asked. Of course, Alan said without thinking. He turned around and faced Wu Nian, waiting for her to speak. Chapter 397. So, you came here today to destroy my last chance. Alan's face darkened. There's one more thing. I need your help with Lu Shuang. What are your conditions? Tell me. Wu Nian raised her chin and said. What if I ask you to stay by my side for a year? Alan asked. Wu Nian was silent for a while. Alan chuckled. Forcing my goddess to do something she doesn't want to do is not something I want to see. Don't worry, I will help you. I don't need any conditions. I just hope that we can still be friends when we meet again. I still remember that you said that you would cook for me. Wu Nian looked at him gratefully. Alan ruffled her hair. Actually, I've thought about it a lot these few days. I know that when you said you wanted to date me, it wasn't because you liked me. You had too many considerations and scruples. Perhaps you were using me, but you did attract me. I want to get rid of some people, so it's better to find a boyfriend. That's why I chose you, Wu Nian explained. You are so beautiful, strong, brave, kind, loyal, smart and beautiful. But I only have a gorgeous appearance and a flashy background. My health is not good, Alan said sadly. I've slit my wrists, been poisoned, jumped into the sea, had plastic surgery, married twice, changed my name and started a new life. I'm not as perfect as you think I am. Even if it was my own father, I never thought of forgiving him. Alan, I thank you for what you did for Lu Shuang. If one day you are in trouble, I will do my best, Wu Nian promised. You've already treated me as a friend by telling me this. I won't betray your trust. All these secrets of yours will never leak out from me. If you're in trouble, I'll do my best. Alan promised with a smile. Wu Nian leaned forward and hugged Alan. Thank you and I'm sorry. I've said it before. You don't have to apologize to me. I'm willing to do it, Alan said in a low voice. Wu Nian let go of Alan. Thousands of words were left unsaid. She thanked him for his help, for his dedication, and for not asking for anything in return. Then I'll get off, Wu Nian said. Let me know one day in advance when your friend is coming to England. Alan said with a sad look in his eyes. Yes. Alan smirked. You're in room 1809. I've already booked you. Although we can't be lovers, we can still be friends. Let me be your host, okay? All right. I'll go upstairs to put my luggage down. Wu Nian pushed the door open and came down. Alan also got out of the car and helped her with her luggage. When are you leaving? Tomorrow. Just one day. Alan was a little disappointed. There are many famous attractions in London. You might not be able to see them all in one day. Where do you want to go the most? Is there anything you want to recommend? If you're not tired, put your luggage down. I'll take you somewhere. Alan smiled. Wu Nian nodded. Okay. Alan drove for 2.5 hours and arrived at a church. This church is modeled after St. Paul's Cathedral. Behind the church is a miniature version of Buckingham Palace. You can eat, race and play golf here, Alan said. Wu Nian got out of the car and looked around. It's a very unique English church, but there aren't many visitors. This is my grandmother's place. It's not open to the public. Huh? Your grandmother? Wu Nian had a strange feeling. With her current relationship with Alan, it wasn't appropriate for her to meet Alan's elders. Alan could tell that Wu Nian was worried. Don't worry. My grandmother really wants to see you, but she respects me very much. I'll tell her about our relationship. Also, my grandmother has a very good friend who's from country A. She'll be very happy to see you from country A. But I didn't bring a gift. Wu Nian wasn't used to meeting elders empty-handed. You're the best gift. You just need to chat with my grandmother, Alan said. If she went, it would be unreasonable for her to leave. Alan brought her past the church to the miniature version of Buckingham Palace. As they walked into the magnificent hall, she saw an old grandmother making tea. Grandmother, this is Wu Nian. She's my friend from country A, Alan introduced with a smile. You're from country A? Alan's grandmother smiled and looked at Wu Nian. She said lovingly, Good, very good. Xiao Tang is also from country A. Hello, grandmother, Wu Nian greeted respectfully. Come here. Alan waved at Wu Nian and ordered the servant. Bring me the photo. Wu Nian looked at Alan awkwardly and walked to her grandmother. Her grandmother looked at Wu Nian with a smile. Alan mentioned you to me. He wants to break off the engagement and marry you. I think you're a good person. I've decided to break off the engagement. Well, Wu Nian looked at Alan again. Grandmother, Xiao Nian and I are just friends. However, We still have to break off the engagement, Alan explained. What? Didn't you say that you like her and want to marry her last time? Don't bully me because I'm old. I still remember, her grandmother said anxiously. I thought too much last time. Xiao Nian and I promised to be friends. All right, grandmother, Xiao Nian is a guest. Alan changed the topic. Her grandmother understood. She sighed and smiled at Wu Nian with pity. The servant brought the photo album. Her grandmother opened it with nostalgia and pointed at a photo of a woman wearing a cheongsam. This is Xiaotang. Wu Nian was shocked. Your woman looks exactly like her mother. Xiaotang was a pitiful person. She came to America with her husband and left her parents to take care of her. Her parents were on their way to find her when there was an earthquake. They all died, her grandmother explained. They all died. Wu Nian was a little dazed. Does she have any relatives alive? Her grandmother shook her head. She didn't know how to give birth. Her husband married another wife and gave her husband a son and a daughter. However, it has nothing to do with Xiaotang. Xiaotang was depressed and passed away when she was in her 40s. She was my best friend. Wu Nian looked down. Her mother was an orphan. She looked too much like the woman in the photo. She might have survived. However, Xiaotang was dead, and her mother had gone crazy. It seemed like there was no need to keep in touch. Xingbachuan had abandoned Bai Bing because she was an orphan and didn't have a prominent family background. If Bai Bing hadn't been separated from her parents, she would have been a socialite. She wouldn't have been abandoned and wouldn't have gone crazy. Unfortunately, there were no ifs in the world. Chapter 398. During the day, Gu Lingqing didn't call her. After returning to the hotel arranged by Alan in the evening, she called Gu Lingqing. Hello. Wu Nian spoke first. Gu Lingqing responded with a deep voice. My problem is solved. Wu Nian said. Gu Lingqing only responded with a sound indifferently. Then good night. See you in Paris tomorrow. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone on the other end. Wu Nian had a strange feeling in her heart. It was as heavy as a stone pressing on her heart. She wanted to call Gu Lingqing again, but she didn't know what to say. She wasn't someone who was good at talking. She put her phone on the bedside table and went to the bathroom to take a shower. She thought of an article that she had read before and felt that it was very useful. The general content of the article was, a man worked for 3 years and wanted to go home. His boss gave him 3 pieces of advice. The first was, don't try to find impossible shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in this world. The second was, don't be overly curious about things that you know are not good. You may lose everything because of it. The third was, don't make any decisions when you are impulsive. It may make you regret it for the rest of your life. When the man went home, he didn't take a shortcut. Instead, he chose the main road with many people. He stayed in a hotel. When he heard a woman crying and screaming, he didn't come out. The person who came out was killed by the crazy woman. When he got home, he heard other men's voices. He didn't kill his wife impulsively. He found out that the man was a child. Wu Nian turned off the shower. So she shouldn't call Gu Lingqing. Even if he seemed unhappy now, the most he could do was break up according to her original plan. She should calm down and live every day in a down-to-earth manner. That way, everyone would be safe. She took a shower and turned off her phone. She lay on the bed and didn't think about anything. Sleep. She didn't know how long it had been before the doorbell woke her up. Wu Nian turned on the bedside lamp. She stepped on the disposable hotel slippers and got out of bed. She looked through the peephole. It was Gu Lingqing. She opened the door in surprise. Why are you here? When Gu Lingqing entered, she smelled a strong smell of alcohol. Just as she closed the door, he pushed her against the wall and kissed her forcefully. Wu Nian pushed him. He held her waist so tightly that she couldn't breathe. He was too strong and domineering. She couldn't even resist. Half an hour later, she finally calmed down. Gu Lingqing carried her to the bathroom, brushed her teeth, washed her face, and didn't say a word. He didn't say a word. He was drunk today, so he probably wouldn't listen even if she tried to reason with him. But that wasn't good. After washing up, he took a towel to wipe her face. Nian. Gu 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 woo. And in Wu Wu Wu's sharp light flashed in Gu Lingqing's eyes as he turned around and left. Didn't Gu Gu didn't want to Gu. Ling Gu, she didn't want to talk to him. She lay in the bathtub. He was still there. Just as she was about to fall asleep in a daze, she felt the bed beside her sink in. A hand held her waist. Wu Nian turned around and met his deep eyes. There was a sour feeling in her heart. Don't you think you're too overbearing? Don't you think you're too domineering? Wu Nian looked at him. Wu Nian turned around and faced him. What are you thinking? I feel like you're unhappy every day. I'm not a parasite in your stomach. Go to sleep. It's late. Gu Lingqing turned off the lights. The room was dark. Go to sleep, it's getting late. Gu Lingqing directly turned off the light, and the room fell into darkness. Go to sleep. It's late. Gu Lingqing turned off the lights. The room was dark. Wu Nian looked at him again. What's wrong? Wu Nian looked at him again. What's the matter? I'm thinking, how much longer are you going to hide it from me? Or have you already guessed that I know who you are? Gu Lingqing said. I'm wondering if you're still her. Or, you're not her anymore. Gu Lingqing stood up. I'm wondering if you're still her. Or you're not her anymore. Gu Lingqing stood up from the bed. His face was serious. Wu Nian's face turned pale. She understood what he meant. You think I'm Baiya? Even though you knew I was waiting for you, you pretended you weren't. Even though you knew I didn't like you and Alan together, you stayed until dark. Even if I wanted to have sex with you, you resisted. From the beginning to the end, I was the one who forced you. I kept you in my mind, but you wanted me to let you go. 3 years, 2 years. It's been 8 years. Our child is already 7 years old. I thought that if I continued, I would make you suffer. I can't see the future and happiness. So, Baiya, I should give up on you. Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing. Also, don't look for little Yin anymore. Right now, little Yin only thinks that his mother is dead. If one day, he finds out that his mother is still alive and by his side, but she doesn't recognize him and isn't with his father, he will hate you. Moreover, I will get married again. Your existence will make it difficult for Xiao Yan to get along with his new mother. Don't worry, Xiao Yan is my child. I will take good care of him and train him. Although I'm strict sometimes, I believe my future wife will treat him like her own child. I will look for a partner who can take care of my child. Gu Lingqing said coldly. Wu Nian didn't say anything. She lowered her eyes and tears fell quietly. Gu Lingqing sneered. Even though he said so, she didn't express her desire to be with him. There's no need to say goodbye. Gu Lingqing turned around, opened the door and went out. He closed the door for her. This was the result she wanted. She wanted to push the man she loved out of her world, and live alone from then on. But what was the point of her living? Perhaps she shouldn't have lived at all. Wu Nian didn't fall asleep again. She sat on the bed in a daze. Her eyes were red from crying, and she made a decision. In the morning, she bought a plane ticket back to a land. When she went to the sanatorium to see Bai Bing, she received news that Bai Bing had committed suicide. Wu Nian was shocked. He ran to ask the doctor. Why did Bai Bing commit suicide? She was fine before. I don't know. Sorry, she suddenly hit her head against the wall. We went in immediately, but she was already dead. Are you her family? The doctor asked. Where is she buried now? Wu Nian asked. Because she doesn't have a family, we will deal with it as if she had no family. Please follow me, the doctor said and brought Wu Nian to the cemetery behind the sanatorium. Bai Bing had been buried. The grave was new. The name carved on the tombstone was Bai Bing's grave. Daughter Baiya. Baiya knelt in front of the grave. Chapter 399. After paying respects to her mother, Baiya called Lu Shuang. Xiao Nian, I have good news for you. Shen Yan has signed the contract with Mo Shui. He promised me that I can travel for a month with Xiao Bao. Ha, my good days are coming. Lu Shuang said happily as soon as he answered the phone. Yes, I am happy for you too. Live for yourself. Live a wonderful and open life. Although it will be ordinary, you will be far away from danger. You will be happy because that is what you want. Wu Nian said with a smile. Yes, I have to leave Shunyan first. He has a wife and he is the president. Once I am exposed, I will be a sinner. Maybe I will be written into history as a temptress who brings disaster to the country and people. Then I will be unlucky and will be infamous for thousands of years. Ha 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 ha. Yes, when are you going to leave? Wu Nian asked in a deep voice. I still have one thing to deal with. I am not worried about you now. You have Alan and Alan will protect you. I am worried about my parents. I have to let them retire first, and then I will find a friend who can help them change their identity. Will my parents agree? Lu Shuang was worried. Then be honest with them. Then be honest with them and tell them about your situation. You're their only son. Although you're no longer related to them, your parents don't have children yet. They still treat you as their only daughter, Wang Yao said. I had a bad relationship with them. Xiao Nian, can you help me to find out what they want to say? Lu Shuang asked. Yes, I will ask them out tonight. Tonight? Lu Shuang scratched his head. Should we meet first to discuss what to say? No, I know what you think. I will talk to your parents and contact them at night. Wu Nian hung up the phone. She had a phone call from Lu Shuang's father. Who is it? The old voice of Lu Shuang's father sounded. Wu Nian felt a little sad. This old dean, under the attack of time, was also on the verge of death. Hello, I'm Lu Shuang's friend. I have something to discuss with you. Are you free tonight? Wu Nian said politely. I don't have such a daughter. Lu Shuang's father hung up the phone. Wu Nian sighed and continued to call Lu Shuang's mother. Hey. Hello, I'm Lu Shuang's friend. I have something to discuss with you. Do you have time tonight? It's very important, Wu Nian said softly. Shuang's friend? Mrs. Lu hesitated. Back then, she left you because she had her own difficulties. She was forced to give birth to that child because she wanted to protect it. Little Shuang, is she doing well now? How can a mother and daughter hate each other overnight? Even if she gave birth before marriage, we will only contact her. How can we not forgive her? Why do we have to break off our relationship? Mrs. Lu's voice was choked with sobs. That's because she wants to protect you. Can we meet tonight? It's better to be more secretive, Wu Nian suggested. Little Shuang's father is more stubborn. I have to slowly persuade him. Come to Iran's spa and enter a private room. My friend opened that room. I can get the key to the small door and come in directly. Okay, I'll go to Iran now. See you later. Wu Nian hung up the phone and went directly to Iran's spa. The streets of City A changed every year, and now they were beyond recognition. When she was a child, her wish was to make a house. She wanted to stay in the place she wanted to stay forever. Nowadays, houses were often demolished, and they were as fragile as human lives. While her thoughts were running wild, she arrived at Iran's spa and followed the receptionist into private room 203. I want a rose aromatic bath, but not now. I'll wait for someone first. Is that okay? Yes, then you can rest first. When you need it, just press the server on the table. The receptionist said with a smile and handed her a cup of lemon tea. Thank you. Can I trouble you to leave for a while? It won't take too long. Okay. The receptionist gave Wu Nian a strange look and went out of the room. Wu Nian texted Lu Shuang's mother. I'm in private room 203. She had just sat down on the sofa when Lu Shuang's mother came in from the small door and locked the door. She asked anxiously, What's wrong with little Shuang? She hasn't come home, and she doesn't even call. She doesn't come home on New Year's Day, and her father is so angry that he's sick. I'm sorry, Lu Shuang has her own difficulties. She provoked someone she shouldn't have provoked, and was forced to have sex with him. The other party also didn't allow her to abort the child. Otherwise, the people she cares about will be in danger, especially you. She was worried that she would drag you down, so she broke off the relationship with you and hoped that you wouldn't be involved. Now Lu Shuang has a chance to leave that man, but she wants to leave this country and live an incognito life. She's worried that after she leaves, that man will deal with you, Wu Nian explained. Lu Shuang's mother frowned and asked several questions in a row. Who did little Shuang offend? She's too straightforward, but she's not a bad person. I've always told her to be careful with her words and actions. What should she do now? Where is she going? Will she never come back? Then what about me and her father? Now, her father misses her so much that he's sick. I can't tell you who she offended for now, but that man is powerful. One word from him, and the whole country will tremble. His power is beyond your imagination. Is it Shen, the current president? Lu Shuang's mother asked suspiciously. Wu Nian paused. She didn't expect Lu Shuang's mother to be right. Lu Shuang's mother could tell from Wu Nian's eyes that she was right. I knew it. He always provoked little Shuang when he was young. I also said that this person actually became the president. I didn't expect that he would treat little Shuang like this. He's already married. Little Shuang hates mistresses the most and hates being tied down the most. She must be very sad now. Mother Lu said. Lu Shuang's mother's eyes were red, and she wiped her tears. Fortunately, she has a chance to escape now. She also found a way to help you change your name and live a new life. Although you can't contact your old friends, you're not in danger. I don't know if you're willing. Can't we go with her? Where does she go? Where do we go? We can find new friends, we can find new jobs, and we only have one daughter. We can still take care of her. Lu Shuang's mother said sadly. That's the best. I can arrange it. I don't know what Director Lu thinks. Old Lu actually cares about little Shuang more than I do. He just doesn't understand. Now that he knows all this, he's definitely willing. Lu Shuang's mother said with certainty. If you're willing, give me a call. I'll arrange it. Lu Shuang's mother looked at Wu Nian. Thank you. It's my duty. Wu Nian smiled. Chapter 400. Wu Nian didn't want Lu Shuang to worry too much, so he made a call. What did my parents say? Lu Shuang asked anxiously. Your mother not only agreed to retire, but she also wants to go with you and take care of you. Really? Lu Shuang was excited. Yes, she also wants to persuade your father. Don't worry, your father loves you more than your mother does. He knows you have difficulties, so he will definitely go with you. Also, since your parents have been contacted, for safety's sake, don't meet them. Shen is a cautious person. It's better for us to be careful as well. Yes, it's great that my parents are willing to go with me. I have enough money for us to live for the rest of our lives. Except for not being able to see you, I don't have any regrets. Lu Shuang said with tears in his eyes. All good things must come to an end. It's my luck to be friends with you. You must be happy. Wu Nian smiled. I promise you I will be happy. Lu Shuang promised. Wu Nian was soaking in the rose-scented bath, quietly closing her eyes and enjoying the comfortable massage. Guest. Wu Nian was woken up by the beautician and opened her eyes. You've been soaking for 2 hours. It's not good to stay in the bath for too long, the beautician said gently. Sorry, I fell asleep. Wu Nian stood up. The beautician wrapped a towel around Wu Nian. Maybe because of the long soaking, she was short of oxygen and her legs were weak. She lost her balance and fell into the bathtub again. Wu Nian held her forehead and said apologetically, I'm sorry, I can't seem to do anything well. How much do you need? That's not necessary. If you like, you can apply for a card. If you apply for a card, you can charge 1,000 yuan and get 200 yuan free. You can use the spa, massage, and accommodation. The beautician introduced enthusiastically. Do you have accommodation here? Yes, on the 3rd floor. Standard room with a king-sized bed. They are all 580 yuan. If you want a spa, you can get a 30% discount. We provide door-to-door service. How much will I get if I top up 10,000 yuan? If you charge 1,000, you'll get 200. If you charge 2,000, you'll get 500. If you charge 5,000, you'll get 2,000. If you charge 10,000, you can get 5,000. Do you want to do it now? Okay, help me get one now. Okay. The beautician beamed with joy and took good care of him. After Wu Nian topped up, he directly checked into the guest room. The room looked good. It was a dreamy pink color. The bed and sofa looked relatively new. There was a treadmill in the room. She quite liked it. Lying on the bed, he connected to the Wi-Fi and checked the price of the yacht. The price of the 11-meter-long cruise ship was less than 400,000 yuan. Looking at the photo, it was not bad. The cabin was converted into a room with a bed, a TV, a shower and a bathroom. The stern was converted into a kitchen. Under the pavilion was a dining table. At the bow of the ship, 2 reclining chairs could be placed. The cockpit was above the cabin. The experiment was wide open. However, driving a boat required a driver's license. She then checked where she should go to get her driver's license. The people who sold the cruise would arrange the test. She checked her account again. She had 22 million yuan in savings. It seemed that she could not spend the money. She could buy a big one. She casually browsed through it until it was 3 o'clock in the morning. She turned off the web page and put her phone on the bedside table. Lying on the bed, she still could not fall asleep. This situation was very bad. She seemed to have started to lose sleep again. She got up again and ran on the treadmill for an hour. She was tired and fell asleep. The room was very good. She slept until she woke up naturally. She took out her phone to check the time. She forgot to charge her phone yesterday. The phone turned off automatically when it ran out of battery. She immediately charged her phone. When she went to the bathroom to wash up, she heard a text message notification. Would there be a call from Gu Lingqing? Wu Nian shook her head. Why would Gu Lingqing call her? She was thinking too much. Thinking about it, she found it funny. She had already completely pushed Gu Lingqing out of her world, but she was still looking forward to it. When a person's heart and mind were not in the same position, contradictions and troubles would arise. She should have been more clear-headed, so that she would not cause an irreversible situation. After washing up, she came out of the bathroom and picked up her phone. They were all calls from Lu Shuang and Lu Shuang's mother. She was very sorry that her phone turned off automatically. She did not act as a bridge of communication in time. She called Lu Shuang's mother first. Did something happen to Shuang? Lu Shuang's mother asked anxiously. Sorry, I overslept. Nothing happened to Shuang. Don't worry, Wu Nian said softly. It's good that nothing happened. His father has agreed to go with Shuang. What do you think we should do? We will listen to you. But before we go, can you arrange for us to meet Shuang? Lu Shuang's mother breathed a sigh of relief. Yes, I will call Shuang first. I will get back to you in 10 minutes, Wu Nian said. After hanging up, she called Lu Shuang back. Xiao Nian, where are you? What did my parents say? Lu Shuang was also anxious. He had inherited this temper from his mother. I'm in room 506 of the guest room above the Yiren Spa. I'll be staying here for a while. Your parents have agreed to go with you, but they want to see you. You come to me now, and we'll go to the spa together. There's a little door, and your mom and dad can go. Come here. Okay, I'm coming now. Lu Shuang hung up the phone in a hurry. Wu Nian was coordinating from the inside, allowing Lu Shuang to meet her parents. They were chatting while she stood guard outside. She estimated that she and Lu Shuang would part ways in less than a month. More or less, she felt sad about parting. She didn't want to show it and affect other people's feelings, but she really felt sad. An hour later, Lu Shuang came out of the private room. His eyes were still red. He held Wu Nian's hand and said, Xiaobai, thank you. You don't have to thank me. That's because of your own feelings. Let's go. Let's have dinner together tonight, and then go to the bar. Consider it a farewell before parting. Let's get drunk, Wu Nian said with a smile. Let's go. Let's get drunk. Lu Shuang put his arm around Wu Nian's shoulder. He had solved one of his worries and was happy. They went to the famous Lanting Hotel in City A. The salmon with flowers here is very delicious. The squirrel climbing trees is also delicious. There are also corn pancakes, immortal roast duck, and crab tofu. I ate these last time when Shenian brought me here. Lu Shuang ordered the dishes and added freshly squeezed cereal juice. When are you going to travel? Wu Nian asked. My parents' matter has been resolved. I'm going out next Monday. They will sign up for a British tour. I'll tell you the details after I'm done. They can't sign up for a British tour. First, if Shenian knows that you're going to Britain, he will definitely guess something. He can easily cancel the tour, and your parents won't be able to go out, Wu Nian reminded. Chapter 401. Your parents have signed up for a tour group around the UK. I'll contact Alan and ask him to pick them up, Wu Nian suggested. You're so smart. I thought too simply. I'll do as you say. Please help me contact my parents. Okay. After dinner, they went to a nearby bar. They drank a lot and were drunk. Then they went to a karaoke bar. Wu Nian ordered a lot of songs. She sang and shouted hysterically. Lu Shuang drank a lot too. He couldn't take it anymore and fell asleep on the sofa. Wu Nian asked for a blanket from the waiter. She draped it over Lu Shuang and continued to sing. Her last song was Goodbye. I'm afraid that I won't have the chance to say goodbye to you, because I might never see you again. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving this familiar place and you. My tears are falling. I'll remember your face. I'll cherish the love you gave me. These days will never be erased from my heart. I can't promise you that I'll come back without looking back. I'll walk on without looking back. She sang to the sad part. She drank a big glass of red wine and lay down on the sofa. She had drunk a lot. She should be drunk. But her mind was abnormally clear. She didn't want to sleep. She picked up her phone and found Gu Lingqing's number. Before she could wrap her mind around it, she pressed the dial button. Gu Lingqing hung up and didn't answer. Wu Nian twitched the corner of her mouth. Tears rolled down from her eyes. She closed her eyes. It was better not to answer. She felt dizzy and wanted to sleep. Then her phone rang. She saw that it was Gu Lingqing's call. She picked it up subconsciously. What is it? Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He was very quiet. His voice sounded very cold. Wu Nian was silent. Gu Lingqing sneered. I told you not to contact me again. You seem to have forgotten. Baya, what do you want? Sorry, wrong number. Wu Nian hung up the phone. After some thought, he blacklisted Gu Lingqing's number and deleted it. She couldn't call Gu Lingqing anymore. She couldn't. Feeling sad, he poured himself another glass of red wine and drank it all. In the end, he didn't know how he fell asleep. He was woken up by the waiter in the KTV room. Her head was still hurting badly. She was worried that Lu Shuang would talk nonsense, so she brought Lu Shuang to her room and slept until someone knocked on the door. Wu Nian got up and opened the door. Shen Yan stood at the door with a straight face. Her sharp eyes glanced at Wu Nian. Her eyes were as deep and serene as a 10,000-year-old ancient pond. But there were hidden waves surging. She seemed to know something. Wu Nian was trembling with fear. Where is she? Shen Yan asked coldly. She's still sleeping. She went to the KTV and sang very late last night. Wu Nian explained. I'm afraid she didn't just go to the KTV. Shen Yan looked at Wu Nian and said. Wu Nian smiled and lowered his eyes. He didn't reply to Shen Yan. At this time, the more he said, the more wrong he would be. Shen Yan walked into the room. Lu Shuang was sleeping in a mess. One of his legs was outside, and his clothes were brushed over his stomach. One of his hands was pressed behind his head, and the other was lying casually. Shen Yan went over and carried him up. She straightened his clothes. Lu Shuang opened his eyes and saw Shen Yan. My head hurts. I want to sleep. You didn't drink too much last night, and it won't hurt anymore. Are you happy to see your parents? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian. You told Shen Yan? Wu Nian was speechless. Lu Shuang was too naive. She managed to trick her. Shuang misses her parents very much. It's not too much to meet them, Wu Nian said for Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang looked at Shen Yan. Of course it's not too much. But there's no need to sneak around. If you want to see them, I can arrange it, Shen Yan said in a low voice. Whoever started the trouble should end it. I'm afraid this matter is not something that you can arrange. Wu Nian was worried that Lu Shuang would make mistakes if he said too much, so he interrupted. Can you solve the problem that I can't solve? Shen Yan said coldly. For example, contact Alan and ask Lu Shuang and her parents to leave? Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. Shen Yan knew their purpose clearly. I don't think I have this ability. Does the president think I do? Wu Nian asked calmly. Shen Yan lowered his head and looked at Lu Shuang in his arms. Don't do something that you'll regret, okay? Shen Yan gave people a dangerous feeling. He was like an awakened beast, as if he would be swallowed by him if he was not careful. What's wrong with you? You're acting weird in the morning. Don't vent your anger on me. I'm not your doormat. Lu Shuang struggled to get off him. He hugged him tighter. It's past noon now. It's a long time since the morning that you mentioned. Besides, I never vent my anger on you. I'll only vent my anger on you. It seems that your subordinates are in trouble every day. You're over 30 this year. You should control your temper. Lu Shuang lectured him. Shen Yan put Lu Shuang down on the bed and looked at Wu Nian. You'd better get out, unless you want to watch the battle. Wu Nian. She blushed and looked at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang struggled, but couldn't get up. Shen Yan, you're bullying a defenseless woman and a child. What kind of hero are you? Are you a defenseless woman and a child? You don't know how powerful your mouth is. Shen Yan retorted. Wu Nian. She left the room and closed the door for them. According to the usual practice, she wouldn't be able to see Lu Shuang today. Wu Nian walked out of the room and followed the address on the internet to the cruise ship sales office near the sea. The salesman walked up to her enthusiastically. How can I help you? I want to buy a cruise ship about 20 meters long for my own residence. It should have all the facilities. The equipment inside should be more advanced. It's best if it can be piloted as long as the coordinates are set. Wu Nian made her request. We've launched a new model of cruise ship. All the equipment inside is imported. It's exactly what you need. It's 22 meters long and 8 meters wide. It has 3 floors. The salesman took out a brochure. He continued. The ground floor is a warehouse with a fridge for food and sundries. There are 2 rooms of 20 square meters on the first floor. One is a bedroom and the other is a living room. There's also a kitchen that leads to the underground storage room. There's a bar in the kitchen. There's a viewing room and an operating room on the second floor. There's also an open-air viewing platform and fishing platform on the roof. Also, if you buy it now, we'll give you a lifeboat. It's usually placed by the side of the ship. Once you're in danger, you just need to press the emergency button. It can be lowered in a minute and automatically filled with air. Sounds good. How much is it now? Wu Nian was tempted by the picture. Miss Wu, why are you here? A man's voice rang out. Wu Nian turned to look at him. She didn't know him. Chapter 402. Wu Nian replied. Her eyes were covered with a thin veil. I'm here with a friend. I won't disturb you then. Oh, okay. Zhang Xingyu replied. Miss Wu, the original price of this model is 1.08 million, but we're having a promotion now. The price is 980,000, so you can enjoy a discount of 100,000. In addition, we also have exquisite gifts for you, such as a rice cooker, an oven and a lucky draw. You have a chance to win a refrigerator. There are also electric motorcycles and motorboats. The salesperson introduced enthusiastically. Leave your name card with me. I'll tell my friend. If she needs it, she'll contact you later. Wu Nian said with flagging interest. Oh, okay. The salesperson still handed her the name card with enthusiasm. Wu Nian walked out of the sales office. She did not go back. Their place was close to the sea, so she went to the pier. There were many people selling seafood there. There were octopus, swimming crabs, hairfish, shells, prawns, and some sea fishes. The air was filled with the smell of fish. There were many fishermen, but there were not many people buying. Wu Nian wanted to buy swimming crabs, but then she thought about it. There was no kitchen in her hotel, so she gave up. She walked casually by the sea, enjoying the salty sea breeze. She remembered that she and Gu Lingqing were sitting by the sea, enjoying the sea breeze. The fire in the pile of stones was very hot, and the wild boar stewed bamboo shoots in the pot was bubbling. The fire dyed their faces red. There were only the 2 of them there, but she did not feel lonely. Her heart had never felt so peaceful before. Now, she was alone for the rest of her life. She wandered around the bustling city. Other than feeling more lonely, there was not a day that her heart felt at ease. She did not know where she was going, nor did she know where she could stop. Every day, she lived in loneliness and despair. In front of her, an old lady carrying a bamboo basket fell to the ground. She ran over and wanted to help her up. Old lady, are you okay? The old lady sat on the ground and grabbed her hand. She shouted, "Help! Someone hit me." Wu Nian looked at her and asked calmly, "Are you sure you want to do this?" "Miss, this is the blind spot of the camera. I just need to insist that it was you. I don't want much. Give me 200. Otherwise, I'll make things worse." The old lady lowered her voice. The corners of Wu Nian's mouth twitched. Using the kindness of others to extort money. Even if you live comfortably in this life, there will always be retribution on you or your children. "What did you say? Believe it or not, I will tear your mouth apart," the old lady said fiercely. She had learned one thing when she was studying psychology. Because of lack of confidence or extreme fear, people would put on a more ferocious front to hide their inner uneasiness. Or in other words, they wanted to escape from something. The old lady was stunned. She was stunned when she saw the old lady. The old lady was stunned. The old lady was slightly stunned. She took the money and Wu Nian turned to leave. She sat under the shade of the tree for a while, staring at the blue sea in a daze until the sun set. She took the money. Wu Nian turned and left. She sat in the shade for a while, staring at the blue sea until the sun set. She found a seafood buffet. The moment she entered, she saw a girl putting the food on the table. Therefore, some people like to live for others to see and find a sense of existence in the envy and praise of others. She chose a seat and casually ate something. She took out her phone and played Hank the dog for a while to pass the time. Her phone rang. It was Lu Shuang. She picked it up immediately. Lu Shuang did not say anything. Wu Nian had a bad feeling. Lu Shuang was not like this usually. "What's wrong? What happened?" "Shen Yan will accompany me for a week on this trip. He will increase it when he's not around. He should know that I'm leaving. What should I do? The people he sends must be elites," Lu Shuang said worriedly. "Don't worry. There's no such thing as an impenetrable wall. Shen Yan's guards are the same. I have an idea, but it may put Shen Yan in danger. The more dangerous Shen Yan is, the less his people can take care of you, and the more likely you are to escape," Wu Nian said thoughtfully. "Put Shen Yan in danger?" Lu Shuang paused. "Although he always forces me, if I let him die, will it cause turmoil in the country?" "It will only put him in danger. He won't die." "Yes. Okay. I guess we'll go on a trip the day after tomorrow. I hope everything goes well," Lu Shuang prayed. "Should be, but however, I guess Shen Yan will confiscate your phone during the trip." Wu Nian guessed. "Then what should I do? I know of a reagent that is injected into the arm. Ordinary instruments can't detect it. Only professional instruments can monitor and track it. I'll contact them. I should be able to find it. Let's meet tomorrow." "Okay. Have you had dinner?" Lu Shuang asked. "I've eaten. I'm going back." "Where are you now?" "I'm already in the manor. See you tomorrow." Lu Shuang hung up the phone. Wu Nian called back. When she was in the car, she thought for a long time about who she should ask for help. She couldn't ask Gu Lingqing, and Su Jieran didn't want to provoke her anymore. It seemed that only Alan could help her. However, it seemed that she would never be able to pay back what she owed now. Therefore, it was difficult for her to speak. In the midst of conflict, she arrived at Iran Clubhouse unknowingly. She entered the room. The room had been cleaned, and the bedsheets had been changed. It was as if no one had stayed in it. She threw her bag on the sofa and sat on the sofa alone, in a daze for a while. Dignity and shamelessness didn't seem to be important in the life of a friend. She dialed Aaron's number. "My grandmother was talking about you just now, and you called. What a coincidence," Alan said with a smile. No matter when she called, he would be clear. Wu Nian felt warm in her heart. There's one thing. When Lu Shuang comes out, there might be guards following him. Moreover, I can't get in touch with him. As long as he comes to England, even if there are a few guards, I'm confident that I can help you save your friend. Don't worry. But I might not be able to contact my friend, so I don't know where they are." Alan chuckled and said confidently, "I have England's heavenly eye. No matter where they are or what they are doing, I can find them. Just leave it to me. Don't worry." Hearing Alan's words, she seemed to be relieved. She didn't even have to think about how to transfer the guards. Thank you, Alan. You're welcome. We're friends, hee. We're friends. Wu Nian repeated Alan's words and hung up the phone. Chapter 403. Wu Nian came to the door and looked through the peephole. There were 2 men in suits. She had a bad feeling and didn't open the door. Miss Wu, we know you are inside. Open the door. Mr. Shen asked us to come. The man outside said. Wu Nian furrowed his brows. Mr. Shen? It was Shen Yan's men outside. She opened the door and asked, Shen Yan, what's the matter? Mr. Shen asked us to pick you up. You'd better ask Mr. Shen in person. Got it. Wu Nian closed the door and followed them. After getting in the car, they confiscated her bag and put a blindfold on her. Wu Nian had expected this result. Shen Yan had never been easy to deal with. He had stepped on many people's bodies to get to where he was now. His ruthlessness was self-evident. She leaned back in the chair calmly. When a person had seen through life and death and had no nostalgia for the world, he could still be calm in the face of great danger. The car drove for more than an hour, and made a turn every 10 seconds. As far as she knew, there was no such road in City A, so she might be in a secret underground base of Shen Yan. After making a turn, the car drove for another 10 minutes and stopped. Someone took off her blindfold. Sorry to offend you, Miss Wu. Please follow me. The man in black military uniform said coldly. It doesn't matter. Wu Nian got out of the car and followed the man in black military uniform. She stopped after passing several doors. There were 8 soldiers stationed in front of this door. Wu Nian guessed that it was where Shen Yan was. The guard knocked on the door. Come in. Shen Yan's voice came from inside. The guard opened the door. Wu Nian saw Shen Yan sitting at the desk. He was looking down at the documents. When he saw Wu Nian coming over, he closed the documents, put them in the briefcase and ordered, "Get out." With a command, the man and woman who were originally in the room left the room and closed the door. There were only the 2 of them in the room. Shen Yan stood up and asked lightly, "What kind of wine would you like to drink?" Wu Nian slightly raised the corner of his mouth and calmly said, "Red wine." Shen Yan walked to the wine cabinet and opened a bottle of Lafite. Then she took 2 wine glasses and put them on the tea table. When she poured the wine, she said, "I didn't expect Lu Shuang to have such a powerful friend." Wu Nian sat down on the sofa opposite Shen Yan. "I didn't expect that Shuang Niu would provoke a president." Shen Yan handed the glass to Wu Nian. "Strictly speaking, I'm your savior." Wu Nian took the wine glass from Shen Yan's hand. "Strictly speaking, I never wanted to live." Shen Yan raised her eyebrows. "Then I should thank you. If it wasn't because Lu Shuang wanted to save you, he wouldn't have stayed by my side and wouldn't have given birth to my son. I'm trying my best to make up for the mistakes I've made. Mr. President, you must have guessed it." Wu Nian raised his head and drank the wine in one gulp. "Aren't you afraid that I'll deal with Gu Lingqing?" A cold wind flashed in Shen Yan's eyes. "Isn't Gu Lingqing someone you've always wanted to deal with? It won't change because of me," Wu Nian said calmly and put down the glass. "I've always thought that Gu Lingqing was an invincible person. However, he has a weakness, and that is you. Now, it seems that you're the true invincible person. Since that's the case, let's make a deal." Wu Nian looked at Shen Yan's overly sharp eyes. "I don't think there's a deal between us." "I love Lu Shuang," Shen Yan said in a low voice. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. He frowned and looked at him suspiciously. He didn't believe it at all. "Otherwise, why do you think I tried so hard to keep her by my side? I knew that once she was exposed, I would lose my reputation, but I still kept her. She scolded me thousands of times, but she could still live safely," Shen Yan said firmly. "Do you think Su Jiran loves me?" Wu Nian asked. Shen Yan pursed her lips and stared at Wu Nian. After 10 seconds of silence, she said, "Do you think Su Jiran doesn't love you?" "I don't see love in him, only possession and destruction. Similarly, I don't see love in you, only possession and destruction. Look at your place. The walls are made of copper and iron. Even your desk is made of composite materials. That's because you know how dangerous your situation is. I can guarantee that once Lu Shuang's identity is exposed, the first person to die will not be you, but her. That can be seen from the murder at Stephen's place. Do you think your subordinate is the mastermind? Wu Nian said sharply. I can guarantee that as long as I, Shinian, am alive, she will definitely not die, Shinian promised. You and Shuang Niu have known each other since you were young. You should know her as well as I do. She is simple, loyal, straightforward, impulsive, but kind. She will never plot against others or plot against others. She doesn't like restrictions. She likes a free life. As long as she wants to do something, she will do it naturally and naturally. Look at what you are giving her now. A restricted life without freedom. She is struggling at death's door every day. She can't move freely, and she has to be separated from her children. She is like a canary in a cage. Most importantly, she has to bear the crime of being a mistress. If you were an ordinary person, it would be fine. But you are the president. You will be recorded in the history books. She will be written as a femme fatale and become notorious. So, she would rather lose everything to fly freely. Shinian gritted his teeth. His eyes were sharp. He said with certainty, then I will break her wings. At least, as long as the master doesn't fall, the canary's life will not be in danger. Shuang Niu will hate you for the rest of her life. Shinian threw the wine glass in his hand to the ground. He held Wu Nian's shoulder and looked at her deeply. I love her. You are destroying her. In my opinion, a married man has no right to love another woman. I have never touched my wife. Lu Shuang is my only woman. One day, I will make her my legitimate wife, but not now. I have my responsibilities and my family's mission. My wings are not fully grown yet, and there are still many people eyeing me covetously. Once I decline, they will accompany me to the grave. Once I fall, there will be hundreds and thousands of people. You should not drag Shuang Niu down. She is innocent. Wu Nian said with pity for Lu Shuang. That is why I want to negotiate with you. I will let Lu Shuang go. But you must tell me where she is. When I solve all the problems, I will go find her. I believe that no man in the world will love her more than me. Only I can give her true happiness. After all, Xiaobao is my son. I don't think other men will love Xiaobao sincerely. Shinian's eyes were misty. Chapter 404. She had seen many breakups and reunions in the world. Some people were very loving in marriage, but after 10 or 20 years, they got divorced, and after the divorce, they would never contact each other again. Marriage was as thin as paper, and most of the time, the best bridge to maintain a marriage was children. Children were the things that truly existed, and they were much more useful than a marriage certificate. Regardless of how much he loved Shuang Niu, there was Xiaobao between them. He had seen too many joys and sorrows, and the weakness between family, friends, and lovers. Shinian was willing to risk his reputation to keep Shuang Niu by his side. Although he was autocratic, Shuang Niu could be willful in front of him. On the other hand, it showed that he really doted on Shuang Niu. Shuang Niu might not encounter such a pure love in the future. I can help you, but I need you to promise me a few conditions. Wu Nian softened his tone. Say it. Shinian released the hand that was holding Wu Nian's shoulder. First, before you get divorced, you can't go find Shuang Niu. Wu Nian talked about the conditions. And Shinian agreed without thinking. Second, if Shuang Niu finds the man she loves before you solve the problem, you can't disturb her life. Shinian's eyes hit a cold light, and he said coldly, yes. Third, if you are still the president when you marry her, Shuang Niu's personality is not very good at hiding, and she may be schemed against by others. You have to firmly believe in her, tolerate her, and help her. That's for sure. I won't let her suffer, even if I destroy everything. Other than me, no one can bully her. You can't either. Shinian. He paused. Fine, I won't bully her. Let her bully me. I need you to swear that if you can't do the above, I will make your parents live a life worse than death, and your reputation will be ruined. Wu Nian looked at Shinian's eyes. Vicious enough. Shinian replied. Are you going to swear or not? Shinian raised her hand. If I don't love Lu Shuang, I'll lose my reputation. If I don't do the above, I'll let my parents live a life worse than death. Is that okay? Wu Nian nodded. I'll tell Alan about Shuang Niu's last resting place. A glint flashed across Shen Yian's eyes. She raised the corner of her mouth slightly and said, Then I'll have to trouble you. I'll get someone to send you back now. Besides, you know what to say and what not to say, right? What do you think? I don't know how Shuang Niu is so lucky to have a friend like you, Shen Yan said meaningfully. Shuang Niu is a blessed person. Please send me back. After Lu Shuang settles down, I will tell you her address. Don't forget what you promised. Shen Yan closed her eyes, opened the door, and ordered the guard outside. Send Miss Wu back. Yes. The guard led the way outside the door. Looking at Wu Nian's back disappearing in front of her, Shen Yan ordered the adjutant beside her. I know where Lu Shuang is. Keep an eye on her 24 hours a day. I want her to never escape. Wu Nian was sent back. She looked at the time. It was already 3 o'clock in the morning. It should be 8 o'clock in the evening in London now. She dialed Alan's number. You haven't slept yet? Alan said softly. Alan, there's a change in the situation this time. Shen Yan talked to me just now. He will deliberately let you leave Lu Shuang. Huh? Deliberately? What do you mean? Alan was confused. You deliberately save Lu Shuang and settle her in England for 10 days. Don't let anyone take her away. After 10 days, transfer her to D-Land, but tell me her exact whereabouts. It sounds more interesting than before. Are you willing to tell me the reason? Alan asked in a good tone. Shen Yan said that he is willing to set Lu Shuang free until he regains his freedom. I want to test him and tell him a fake address to see his reaction. If he really does as he promised, I will tell him the real address. Alan smiled. Can I say that the devil is 1 foot higher than the law? Ha 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 ha, you are so smart. I will take it as a compliment. Yes, but I might need your help too, Alan said awkwardly. Go ahead. As long as she could do it, she would do it without hesitation. She didn't like to owe others, but she had owed a lot of people before. In her heart, she couldn't get over it, such as Lu Shuang and Mu Xiaoxiao. My grandmother wants to come to a land next month. After all, you are my friend. I may have to trouble you to come out and meet me. I thought it was something important. That's what I should do. Text me when you confirm the time. Well, okay. Go to bed now. It's late. It's not good for your skin to sleep so late, Alan said with a smile. She felt relaxed when she was with Alan. Okay, good night. See you next month. Good night. See you next month. Wu Nian hung up the phone, took a shower, and lay on the bed. Her imagination ran wild. Every time she thought of Gu Lingqing, she would feel a faint pain in her heart. It was a very bad feeling. Fortunately, she would be free soon. Her heart would not hurt anymore, and all the feelings would disappear. She turned over, but her face was wet. Life was like a dream, smoke, and illusion. Most things would not go your way. She just had to get used to it. She fell asleep in a daze. When she woke up, it was already 12:20. After washing up, she called Lu Shuang. What do you want to say? I've been waiting for your call for a long time, Lu Shuang said anxiously. Alan said that as long as you go to the UK, he has the third eye, and he can definitely save you. Third eye? What third eye? Is he bragging? Lu Shuang was worried. Wu Nian thought that Lu Shuang was anxious and his brain was temporarily short-circuited. She explained in detail. It refers to the surveillance system. Now every road and every community has surveillance. As long as you go to the UK, he can use the surveillance system to find you quickly through facial recognition. Oh, I remember now. That's what it means. Recently, I haven't been eating well and sleeping well. I feel that my brain has declined. Hey, I can't take it anymore. I have to hang up. Shen Yan is here again. I'll talk to you later. Lu Shuang hung up the phone in a hurry. Wu Nian sighed. Even if Shen Yan really loved Shuang Niu might not be able to accept him in a short time. After all, they did not have a good beginning, and their status was too far apart. She got up and her phone rang. She saw that it was a landline number and answered. Who is this? Hello, Miss Wu. I'm from the yacht company. Today is the last day of the yacht that you liked last time. In order to show everyone's love for this yacht, we will reduce the price by another 50,000 yuan. On top of that, we will also give you a jet ski. If you miss today, you won't have another chance. Well, I'll order one, but I want a brand new one. There must be no quality problems. Don't worry, Miss Wu. Our company has been established for 30 years and has always had a good reputation. When will you pay the deposit? In the afternoon. Zhang Xingyu received the call and replied to Gu Lingqing. Miss Wu really bought the yacht in her own name. Do you still want to buy it? Chapter 405. Lu Shuang was going to England, and Wu Nian was going to see him off. Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's hand tightly and said reluctantly, Xiaobai, don't bear the burden alone. You'll feel better if you tell me. When I'm not by your side, write it on the letter and pretend to tell me. Then you'll feel better. Wu Nian nodded. Okay. Lu Shuang's eyes turned red. He sniffed and choked with sobs. I'll miss you. Don't forget me. Let's be friends in our next life. Wu Nian saw Lu Shuang crying, and his tears flowed down instantly. He nodded and helped Lu Shuang wipe his tears. He said, Remember, be careful with your words and actions. You can only rely on yourself outside. When you're very angry, listen to a song and calm down for 5 minutes before making a decision. I will. Once Sheniyan has a new lover, tell me. I'll sneak back to see you. I think he'll have a new lover soon. Lu Shuang said with hope. Wu Nian's eyes darkened. He did not say anything. Seeing Sheniyan walking over, he said concisely, He's here. Take care. Okay. Lu Shuang replied. He couldn't help but feel sad. She didn't know when she would be able to see her good friend again, after going out this time. Sheniyan walked to Lu Shuang and put one hand in her pocket. She said meaningfully, It's not like you'll never see him again. Why are you crying? Lu Shuang wiped his tears. Why do you care if I'm sad? Do you care about other people's feelings? Sheniyan held Lu Shuang's shoulders and pulled him into her arms. Go out and have fun. I should be the one who's sad. He turned around with his arms around her. Lu Shuang looked at Sheniyan in confusion. You're a person who can come and go as you please. Why are you sad? Don't you know why I'm sad? Sheniyan and Lu Shuang's voices were getting further and further away. She didn't turn around until they got on the plane, and it was out of her sight. Now, apart from waiting for news, he was going to get a yacht driving license. From the training ground to the restaurant to the hotel, and from the hotel to the restaurant to the training ground. It was much easier to get a driving license on a ship than a car. She got her driving license in a week, and could drive her own cruise ship out to sea. The place she wanted to go the most was the deserted island. Fortunately, she remembered the latitude and longitude and adjusted it on the machine. The boat was driven by herself. She just needed to check if there was any mistake from time to time. However, before she left, she bought a lot of ingredients. It took 8 hours to drive from City A to the deserted island. She checked out of her room and set off at 8 o'clock in the morning with 3 barrels of diesel. The weather was good today. Perhaps it was because she was at sea. It was almost October and it was a little chilly. She wrapped herself in a blanket and stood at the head of the bed, looking at the endless ocean. This would be her future life. She would stay at sea for a long time without any signal, and live a life far away from the world. Occasionally, she would go to the shore to buy some ingredients. She would not inquire about anyone's news. She would struggle to survive until she could no longer live. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she approached the island. From afar, she saw something different. Using the binoculars given by the shop, she saw a house by the sea. She had a strange feeling in her heart. Who built a house here? Another 10 minutes later, the cruise ship approached the shore. She saw it clearly. It was a 3-story cement house surrounded by a 2.5-meter-high wall. Outside the wall was a circle of ditches for storing water. There was only one way to the iron gate. The iron gate was locked. The owner should not be inside. She did not expect that there would be people living here. If one family came, maybe there would be a second family. Or maybe she could teach here. Wu Nian did not get off the ship. She docked the ship 50 meters away from the shore. At night, She simply cooked porridge and scrambled eggs with tomatoes. After eating, she lay on the deck chair at the bow of the ship, covered herself with the quilt, and counted the stars in the sky. The cold wind blew. Even with the quilt, she felt cold to the bones. The colder it was, the lonelier she felt, even if she had arrived at the place she once wanted to return to the most. There was no man in this place anymore. She looked at the sky in a daze, thinking about what would happen after death, thinking about starting over, thinking about what if. Unfortunately, there was no answer in the end. She did not know whether to feel asleep or not. When she was in a daze, she felt that someone beside her was looking at her and lifted her quilt. She wanted to open her eyes but could not. She wanted to speak but could not. She wanted to sit up but could not move her body. After struggling for a while, she did not wake up, so she simply gave up. Life or death, it did not matter. Thinking of this, she felt her body was light as if it was about to float out of her body. She floated into the air and suddenly sank into unconsciousness. In the morning, she was woken up by the birds. Her head was dizzy and her nose was a little blocked, as if she had caught a cold. She sniffed her nose and got up to brush her teeth and wash up. She saw 2 wolves walking on the beach. Gradually there were 3, 4, 6, 12. One of the wolves saw her and howled. The other wolves looked at her. If she and Gu Lingqing had encountered this group, it would have been a fierce battle. Even if Gu Lingqing's marksmanship was good, he could not have killed so many of them. Therefore they were lucky. At least they did not die so miserably. Those wolves looked at her for an hour, but finally gave up and left with their heads down. Wu Nian cooked some porridge again. She put a few slices of ginger and red dates in the porridge and ate a bowl with tofu. After that, she ran on the treadmill for half an hour. She was so dizzy that she did not even take a shower. She took a pill and drank a glass of water. Then she lay on the bed and fell asleep again. When she woke up again, it was almost noon. Her cold did not get better. It got worse. Her nose was watery and her breathing was not smooth. She asked for it. She felt cold and shouldn't have laid outside to enjoy the wind last night. She cooked some porridge and lay on the bed to watch the movie she downloaded on the computer. She spent a week in a daze. The funny thing was that the wolves came for 5 days in a row. On the 6th day, they judged that she would not go ashore, so they did not come again. On the 8th day she returned to City A. On the one hand, she wanted to see how Lu Shuang was doing now. On the other hand, she might not have received the message that Alan had told her when to come. She left at 7 o'clock in the morning. She would receive the signal at 14 o'clock in the afternoon. Her phone kept ringing. Many of them were from Shen Yin and Alan. She called Alan first. "Where have you been? I couldn't find you anywhere," Alan said in a low voice. "I got my boat license and went out for a few days. There was no signal on the boat. I'm sorry to have made you worry," Wu Nian said apologetically. "You are living a free life." Wu Nian just smiled. "Or I am stubborn. I have rescued Lu Shuang for 2 days. I will send the address to your phone later. I will transfer her in 8 days, right?" Alan said with certainty. "Yes, and make sure that no one takes Lu Shuang away during this period." Chapter 406. What's the matter? Wu Nian had a bad feeling. "Let's talk when we meet." Alan hesitated. Wu Nian heard his heavy tone and was a little anxious. "Since you've asked, you know that if you don't tell me, I won't be able to sleep every night. Tell me." "I don't know. My grandmother has investigated you. She found out that you went to a sanatorium and met a deceased person. The deceased person looked exactly like my grandmother's friend. You were very sad in front of the grave. She wanted to know your relationship with the deceased person," Alan said in a low voice. "Mother, she is my mother by Bing. She grew up in an orphanage and tasted the bitterness of the world. She suffered from an incurable mental illness." Wu Nian didn't hide anything. "Then you? Maybe you're the descendant of my grandmother's friend?" Alan's tone was very regretful. "I don't know. My mother is already dead. I had a bone marrow transplant, and my DNA has changed. Maybe the DNA in my brain and spleen hasn't changed, but it's not convenient to extract them. Besides, Even if I'm proven to be the descendant of your grandmother's friend, it won't change anything for me. Besides, even if it's confirmed that I'm the descendant of your grandmother's friend, it won't change anything for me, Wu Nian explained. What if your grandfather has always wanted to find you? After all, you're the only descendant of his beloved wife. He feels that he owes his wife. He will make it up to you. Alan tried to sound her out. I don't need to make it up to him. His wife is already dead. No matter how much I make it up to him, it will only make him feel better. His wife can't feel it. If he didn't treat his wife better when she was alive, it would be too late for him to treat her better after she died. Since he has done what he owes, since he owes her, he will owe her for the rest of his life. Wu Nian said coldly. What if I ask you to see her? Alan said in a low voice. Wu Nian looked down. If it wasn't for Alan's request, she would definitely not meet him. She knew that once she admitted it, many people, things would be involved. She would also mess up other people's lives. She didn't want to. But Alan's request, she twitched the corner of her mouth. She couldn't reject him because of his help. Okay. On October 15th, your grandfather and my grandmother will come to a land together. See you then. Alan said with a clear voice. Okay, I'm hanging up. Send me Lu Shuang's address. Wu Nian said and hung up the phone. He lay on the recliner and looked at the blue sky. The white clouds sometimes turned into the shape of a white horse, and sometimes into the shape of a mermaid. It was ever-changing and never fixed. Alan sent him a message. She sat up and called Shinian. I thought you had disappeared, Shinian said in a weird tone. I'm out to sea. There's no signal on the sea. Sorry, Wu Nian said in a low voice. Where is she now? Shinian asked angrily. Her breathing was uneven, and it was transmitted to Wu Nian's ears through the phone. Don't forget what you promised me. First, you can't disturb Shuangniu's life before you regain your freedom. Second, if Shuangniu finds a lover, you should help her. Third, don't bully her. Wu Nian reminded him again. Are you done? If you are, tell me where she is. Shinian said coldly. Wu Nian's eyes darkened. Shinian didn't agree. But if he went back on his word, she would make sure that he would never find Shuangniu again. I'll send you the address. I hope you can keep your promise, Wu Nian said. He hung up the phone and forwarded Alan's message to Shinian. There was still 1.5 hours before the ship docked. She went to the kitchen to make egg fried rice and tomato shredded meat soup, and ate a little. When she reached the shore, she replenished her water, fresh vegetables, and fruits. She also bought 2 hens that could lay eggs, a poodle, some dog food, toys, and a doghouse with a roof. She set off to the deserted island again. She made a circle with a mat on the roof and put the hens in. She made a pot with straw and covered it with a bamboo board. The doghouse was placed at the bow of the ship. She put the toys in the doghouse and set the automatic sailing at night to locate the deserted island. She went back to her room to sleep and set the alarm. It was 5:20 in the morning. The dog was barking so fiercely that Wu Nian was woken up before the alarm went off. She felt the ship shaking so much that she couldn't even get out of bed. She swayed and opened the door. The sea was stormy, but there was no rain. The sky was slightly white. She closed the door and went to the bathroom to brush her teeth. She put on a jacket and walked to the bed. The dog saw her and barked even louder. Wu Nian carried it out. It was very dirty. She took the dog into the bathroom and put it in the sink to take a bath. The dog was very resistant at first. It struggled and tried to bite Wu Nian's hand. She gave the dog a few mouthfuls of dog food, and it calmed down. Wu Nian helped the dog bathe and dried its fur with a hairdryer. What do you think of your name? Little Qing, how about this name? It sounds very sunny, Wu Nian said to the dog. Woof woof. The dog barked twice. Wu Nian gave the dog a biscuit. Then you'll be called Little Qing. You like it too, right? Woof woof. The dog barked twice again. Wu Nian gave the dog another biscuit. The dog was much more stable in her arms and no longer barked as before. Due to the wind and waves, the ship arrived at its destination 2 hours late. It was 8 o'clock when she arrived at the deserted island. The sun was out and the wind and waves had subsided. She was surprised to find that the previously closed iron gate was opened. She could see that there was a courtyard inside. There was a well and a parasol in the courtyard. Under the parasol was a table, a recliner, and a blanket on the recliner. There were 3 rooms in the 3-story building. There were several rooms upstairs, and several more rooms upstairs. She was surprised and looked around. There were no beasts coming in or out. She remotely controlled the ladder, and got off the ship with the dog in her arms. She slowly walked to the front of the house, knocked on the door and asked, "Is anyone here?" Woof 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 woof. The dog barked. No one answered her. Wu Nian was nervous and scared. She walked further inside and shouted, "Is anyone here?" Click. The door was opened. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. There was no surprise in his eyes. Perhaps he had recognized her when he heard her voice. Wu Nian's heart was beating fast. He said not to see her again. She had thought that this house was built by him, but she didn't think that he would come here after falling out with her. "I'm sorry." Wu Nian apologized and turned around. "Little Yan is sick," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Chapter 407. Thalassemia. He has been sent abroad for treatment, but the doctor said that the best way is hematopoietic stem cell transplant. My parents' blood is not suitable, Xiao Xian's blood is not suitable, and my blood is not suitable. What about me? Wu Nian's eyes dimmed. My bone marrow has been changed. Yours is not suitable either. Gu Lingqing looked at her and said. Wu Nian's mind felt empty. The sea breeze blew on her face, making her feel sad. In her life, she had less happiness than pain, and more setbacks than prosperity. Nothing good had happened to her. Could it be that she had done too much evil in her previous life, and the retribution was on her child? A strange look flashed across Gu Lingqing's face. If we want to save him, we'd better have another child. Wu Nian raised her head and looked at Gu Lingqing calmly. Her eyes were too calm, without a trace of emotion. Gu Lingqing gritted her teeth and sneered. She said sarcastically, "Of course, if you don't want to save him, I won't force you. Maybe you can find a match in a few years, and then you can leave. It's hard for me to get pregnant. You don't have to explain. It's your freedom to save him or not. Anyway, the child has nothing to do with you. You have never wanted him," Gu Lingqing said harshly. She turned around and closed the door. There was a loud bang. Wu Nian stood outside the door. There was a pain in her heart that slowly flowed into her limbs and bones. It was so painful that she was so numb that she was fixed on the spot and couldn't move. She had been looking for her child all the time. As long as there was a little news, she would try. As soon as she woke up, the first thing she did was to make sure that Gu Lingqing was safe. When she knew that her child was still alive, she was so excited that she cried. She had been in a coma for a long time. It was very painful to take medicine. She knew that she didn't want to see Gu Lingqing, because from the moment she jumped into the sea, she decided not to drag Gu Lingqing down. She wanted to see her child and take care of her child. Now in Gu Lingqing's eyes, she was such a cold-blooded mother. How could she leave her child to die? But she went to the door and knocked. After waiting for a few seconds, there was no movement from the other side of the door. The dog barked and the door opened. Gu Lingqing looked at her condescendingly. "I don't know if the next child can save Xiao Yan, so it's best not to give up on finding a suitable match," Wu Nian said. Gu Lingqing understood what she meant. With a cold face he said in a low voice, "Come in." Wu Nian carried the dog into the house. There was a bed, a sofa, a television, a computer, a water dispenser, and a treadmill in the house. How did you get here? I don't see any boats outside," Wu Nian asked in confusion. "Plane," Gu Lingqing said concisely and sat down on the sofa. He glanced at the opposite sofa and gestured for her to sit. Wu Nian sat down with the dog in her arms. "When will you be free? Let's go to the hospital for a checkup and confirm the day of ovulation," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. "I'm free at any time." Gu Lingqing looked at her quietly. "For me, having a child with you is just to save my son's life. There is no emotional involvement between us. When the child is born, the child will be mine, and it has nothing to do with you. Do you agree?" Wu Nian nodded. "I also believe that the child will be better with you than with me." There was a sharp light in Gu Lingqing's eyes, with hatred and disgust. How much do you need as compensation? Although she knew that he deliberately made her feel bad, which was why he attacked her self-esteem and personality, she really felt bad. I have money. Thank you for your generosity, Mr. Gu, but I don't need it. I don't know what people like you need. Family, friendship, love? You can watch Xingbatian die, you can send Lu Shuang away with your own hands, and you can even cut off your former love. You don't need anything. Are you a monster? Even a monster can't be so cold-blooded, right? Gu Lingqing said sarcastically. Wu Nian raised her chin, looked at him with fear, and tried to hold back her tears. She was not afraid of rumors, slander, harm to others, and life and death. Gu Lingqing's words, on the other hand, could directly strike her soul. She might really be a monster. From the moment she was born, she was a lonely star. The people around her, the people who loved her, and the people she loved, none of them had a good ending. Mr. Gu is not me. Of course, you don't know what I need, and you don't need to know what I need. Wu Nian said coldly. Before I met you, I never regretted anything. After I met you, I regret everything I did. Gu Lingqing said sharply. Do you regret everything? Wu Nian's strong will was broken into pieces by him. She knew that if she stayed any longer, she would only be weak and crying. There was no need to show these things. She lowered her eyes, stood up and said coldly, I will go to the hospital for a checkup today, and I will inform Mr. Gu when the results come out. She couldn't wait to turn around. Her tears flowed uncontrollably and fell on the dog. Perhaps the dog also felt its owner's pain, and it barked. Wu Nian rubbed the dog, quickly got on the boat, entered the cabin, put down the dog, and operated the computer. Gu Lingqing said that she was a monster. She was a monster. After he met her, there was nothing he didn't regret. That's right. Ever since he met her, nothing seemed to be good. Even if she had tried hard and struggled, in the end nothing was good. Now her child was also sick. When Xiaoyan was alive, she didn't fulfill her responsibility as a mother. If Xiaoyan died, she wouldn't let him die alone. Maybe after death, she could take care of her child. Tears streamed down Wu Nian's face as she designed the return route. The screen sounded an alarm, and she realized that because she left in a hurry, the ladder wasn't retracted. She pressed the button, and the ladder automatically retracted. The boat also started to move, and began to return. She stood at the window of the cabin and looked at the house. Gu Lingqing didn't come out. He was cold, as if no one lived in the house, as if she was no longer in his heart. Wu Nian cried quietly, looking up at the blue sky. Is a person's fate predestined? Destined to be poor or rich? Healthy or sick? Happy or sad? If it was destined, why did she have such a fate? She had never taken the initiative to hurt others. Wu Nian felt terrible. She squatted on the ground, her body curled up, and her tears fell on the floor. Woof, woof, woof. The dog barked at her. Chapter 408. It was already 5 o'clock in the afternoon when she reached the shore. It was too late for her to go to the hospital for a checkup, as she was still feeling a little dizzy from the flu. She didn't dare to take her medicine, and drank a lot of hot water in preparation for having a child. She lay on the bed for the whole night, feeling dizzy and sweaty. The next day, she woke up at 4 o'clock and couldn't sleep. She cooked porridge and played with Hank the dog on the bed. Unknowingly, she played for an hour and the porridge was already kept warm. She got up and cooked scrambled eggs with tomatoes. The dog woke up too. She fed it some dog food and squatted in front of the kennel. Xiaoqing, I'm going out today. Be good at home. Woof woof. The dog barked. The corners of Wu Nian's lips curled up slightly. She fed him some more dog food and went back for breakfast. After eating, it was only 6 o'clock. She changed into her sportswear. Perhaps it was because she had not recovered from her cold, but her body felt weak. Usually, she would run for an hour or two, but she only ran for 40 minutes before getting off the treadmill. She took a hot shower, changed her clothes, and before leaving, she gave the dog water and set off. At 10 o'clock in the morning, she had already completed the checkup and received the report. Her period wasn't normal, and the doctor advised her to take care of her body. Her ovulation period was from October 5th to October 10th. She walked out of the hospital and looked through her phone. She didn't see Gu Lingqing's number. She remembered that she had already blacklisted and deleted his number. Shen Yan should have Gu Lingqing's number, and so should Stevens. She didn't want to ask them for it. Gu Lingqing would probably contact her later. She put her phone in her bag and went back to bed. She slept again when she woke up in the middle and wanted to sleep again. She was woken up by the ringing of her phone. She had a terrible headache. She looked at the caller ID and answered, "Hello." "Hello, is this Miss Wu Nian?" The other party asked. Wu Nian found the voice familiar. "What's the matter?" "I'm President Gu's assistant, Zhang Xingyu. We've met before. Do you remember me?" Zhang Xingyu said politely. "Okay." Wu Nian sat up. "Did you forget to contact President Gu? President Gu is very angry right now. Hurry up and contact him. Otherwise we will be in trouble," Zhang Xingyu pleaded. "I don't have his number," Wu Nian said apologetically. "I'll send it to you now," Zhang Xingyu said and hung up before Wu Nian could reject. Gu Lingqing narrowed his eyes and asked Zhang Xingyu, "What did she say?" "She said she doesn't have your number, but I'll send it to her now," Zhang Xingyu explained. Gu Lingqing's pupils shrank sharply, cold stars flashing in his eyes. No wonder he couldn't get through to her. Not only had she blocked him, but she had also deleted him. There was a fire in his body, rising to the top. When Wu Nian called, his eyes were sinister. He asked, "Where are you?" And not, "What should I say after the checkup?" Wu Nian paused. "According to the report, my ovulation period is from October 5th to October 10th. Shouldn't it be before the 7th and after the 8th? Gu Lingqing's voice was even colder. "My period is not accurate. It's best to go for a checkup every month. Currently, it's from October 5th to October 10th, Wu Nian explained. "Got it. Tell me the date, and I'll get someone to pick you up." Wu Nian. "What you're doing now is useless, right?" Gu Lingqing looked ahead sharply. "Weren't you an obstetrician? Did you return all the knowledge you learned to the hospital and your teacher? The sperm can stay in your body for a week." Oh. She was in a daze and couldn't react in time. "I'm on the cruise at the pier. Remember to take a shower after dinner. I don't want to waste time," Gu Lingqing said coldly. Oh. As soon as she finished speaking, Gu Lingqing hung up the phone. Wu Nian got out of bed and fried some shredded meat with water chestnuts. She heated up the porridge she made in the morning and ate it. After that, she drank a big bowl of water chestnut soup, took a shower and fed the dog. The dog was very happy to see her. It wagged its tail and even spun around. She now knew why so many people liked dogs. Other than companionship, she could clearly feel that the dog liked her. She squatted in front of the dog's kennel and fed it a few biscuits. The dog ate 2 biscuits and suddenly barked at the pier. Wu Nian stood up and looked at the pier. Zhang Xingyu was walking towards her car. When he saw her, he had a flattering smile. Wu Nian patted the dog's head. "I'm going out for a while. You stay at home and look after the house." The dog barked. Wu Nian added water for the dog, locked the door, and walked towards the pier. "Miss Wu, do you need to bring some clothes?" Zhang Xingyu reminded her. Wu Nian blushed. "No need. I'm coming back today." Oh, that's not what I meant." Wu Nian. What did he mean? She got into Zhang Xingyu's car and closed her eyes to rest. After driving for an hour and a half, the car stopped in front of a villa. Zhang Xingyu opened the door of the car and said respectfully, "Miss Wu, we're here." Wu Nian got out of the car and followed Zhang Xingyu in. She did not see Gu Lingqing. President Gu should be working in the study. "Go up to the 2nd floor, the 2nd room on the left," Zhang Xingyu said as he stood by the stairs. She remembered that he used to live in a small house with Xiao Yan and Xiao Xian. When did he get this villa? Also, it did not look like it was newly renovated. Could it be that he bought an old house? What did it have to do with her whether Gu Lingqing bought a new house or an old house? She really knew how to worry. Wu Nian went upstairs and stood at the door of the study. She knocked on the door. "Come in." Gu Lingqing's voice came from the room. She pushed the door open and entered. He glanced at her, then looked back at the computer screen and said in a low voice, "Sit for a while." Wu Nian nodded respectfully and sat down on the sofa. She hung her head and waited for a while. Gu Lingqing did not call for her. Unknowingly, her eyes were on his face. He was focused on the computer. When he was working, he looked colder than usual. His eyes were sharp and he exuded a strong aura. He was like an arrogant king. Whether it was a soldier or a businessman, Gu Lingqing was able to excel in both fields. She felt proud of him, and the corners of her mouth turned up slightly. Gu Lingqing looked at her. Wu Nian was caught red-handed. She lowered her head guiltily. Gu Lingqing's expression softened a little. He closed the computer. "Have you taken a shower?" "Yes," Wu Nian answered. "Follow me." Gu Lingqing got up and walked out of the door. She followed him into the room next door. "Take a seat first. I'll take a shower," Gu Lingqing said. "Oh, Wu Nian answered. Chapter 409. His room was simple as usual. There was a bed, 2 bedside cabinets, a television, a hidden wardrobe, and a flower stand by the window. There was a plate of kaffir lilies on the flower stand, elegant and fragrant. Gu Lingqing opened the bathroom door. He walked out with only a towel around his waist and looked at her coldly. "Do you want me to help you take off your clothes? Or do you want to do it yourself?" "I'll do it myself." Wu Nian lowered her head and took off her coat and undershirt. She was much thinner than before. Was she even 90 kilograms now? "If you get any thinner, you'll feel like a skeleton," he said coldly. He held her waist, turned around, and pressed her down on the bed, looking down at her from above. Wu Nian looked down and refused to look at him. Gu Lingqing gritted his teeth. How boring. Gu Lingqing sat on the bed. Wu Nian felt a little cold. She wrapped her coat around her body and looked at him in confusion. Gu Lingqing lit a cigarette and leaned against the bed. He exhaled a thick cloud of smoke that landed on Wu Nian's face. She choked and turned her face away. Gu Lingqing moved closer to her and lifted her chin to face him. "I have to get hard to want you. How can I feel anything when you're like this?" Wu Nian pushed his hand away. "Then take the medicine." "Will the child be better after taking the medicine be born? Or do you not care if the child is born an idiot?" Gu Lingqing said sarcastically. Wu Nian furrowed his brows. "Can't you speak properly? Do you feel better every time you say that? Then can you do your job properly? If you don't do your job well, don't expect to be treated well, right? And you've learned psychology," Gu Lingqing retorted coldly. Wu Nian was speechless. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything either. The atmosphere was tense. She looked at him and softened her tone. "Aren't we doing this for Xiaoyan? Why else do you think I still want you? However, some reactions can't be forced. You've already given birth, so you should understand," Gu Lingqing retorted. Wu Nian understood his hint and pounced on him. She lowered her head and took the initiative to kiss his lips. Gu Lingqing didn't respond and just looked at her coldly. Wu Nian was a little anxious. She put her hand under his towel. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Wu Nian looked at him and met his deep eyes. He was embarrassed. Did he want to have a child with her, or was he just trying to humiliate her? Gu Lingqing looked at her bright eyes, put out the cigarette in his hand, held her waist, pressed the back of her head, and kissed her lips. Wu Nian heaved a sigh of relief. Just like that, he wanted it. Because it was too sudden. She clenched her fists in pain and frowned. Gu Lingqing looked at her expressionlessly. There wasn't a hint of lust in his eyes. She didn't dare to face him. Her eyes were on his abdomen. She wasn't sure if it was because of the exercise or because she was sick, but she was sweating profusely. After the session, she was so tired that she didn't want to move at all. Gu Lingqing got up coldly and walked to the bathroom. He didn't look at her. "Get dressed. I'll get someone to send you back. I'll pick you up tomorrow at the same time." Wu Nian replied, "Okay." In Zhang Xingyu's car. She looked at the time. It was already midnight. It would take 1.5 hours to get from Gu Lingqing to her place. She sat in the car and let her imagination run wild. Zhang Xingyu looked at her again and again. He seemed to want to say something but stopped himself. "What's wrong?" Wu Nian asked suspiciously. I feel that President Gu treats you quite differently. He was so uneasy when he didn't hear from you that he couldn't even do his work. Now that you're willing to come, I can tell that he's in a much better mood. He's calmed down a lot, Zhang Xingyu said with a smile. That's because he's worried about Xiaoyan. Wu Nian explained. She was saying it for herself. Xiaoyan? Why? Zhang Xingyu was puzzled. Wu Nian guessed that Zhang Xingyu didn't know the real relationship between her and Gu Lingqing. She couldn't be bothered to explain. She just smiled and didn't want to say anything else. She looked out of the window. It was very dark outside. Even the places with street lights were not bright enough. It was pitch black. She closed her eyes and pretended to sleep. She accidentally fell asleep. When she woke up, her nose was filled with the smell of disinfectant. She opened her eyes in surprise. Zhang Xingyu was standing by the bed. You're finally awake. Zhang Xingyu smiled. Did I sleep for a long time? Wu Nian wanted to get up. My dear lady, just lie down and rest. You had a fever yesterday. Don't you know it? Zhang Xingyu pressed her down. She guessed that she had a slight fever. That was why she ate a big bowl of water chestnut at night. It had the effect of cooling down. I might have caught a cold from the sea breeze. What time is it now? Where's my bag? Your bag is in the cabinet. Don't worry. President Gu said that you can rest in the ward until you recover. He was there last night and even found 2 caretakers for you. I know that President Gu cares about you a lot. I've never seen him treat any girl so well. But you're also very beautiful. You look beautiful. Zhang Xingyu smiled and scratched his head. Wu Nian looked down. Was Gu Lingqing there the whole time? Thank him for me. I'll try my best to recover. Wu Nian promised. I don't need to stay in the hospital. I still have a dog to take care of. That's not a good idea. If President Gu knew that you left the hospital without permission, he would be angry. I know what I'm doing. Wu Nian saw that Zhang Xingyu was in a dilemma. She took out her bag from the cabinet and called Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing hung up on her. Did you call President Gu? President Gu should be in a meeting now. Send him a message. He should be back after the meeting. Zhang Xingyu reminded her. Wu Nian wrote a message to Gu Lingqing. Before she finished writing the message, Gu Lingqing called. What's the matter? He asked coldly. Well, I just caught a cold and have a fever. I don't need to stay in the hospital. I can take the medicine home and hang it myself. It's the same. If you knew how to take care of yourself, you wouldn't have fainted from the fever. If it wasn't for Yin, I wouldn't care about you. Just stay in the hospital. I've brought your dog home. Don't worry. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up first. I'm in a meeting. Gu Lingqing said coldly. After that, he hung up without giving her a chance to speak. Oh my God. President Gu stopped the meeting to call you. I think he's in love with you. He's a workaholic. He's never been like this before. Zhang Xingyu was surprised. Wu Nian didn't bother to explain. Her phone rang again. It was Alan. She didn't answer it directly. Instead, she said to Zhang Xingyu, I'm a little hungry. Oh, I'll buy it for you. Zhang Xingyu said cleverly. Wu Nian didn't answer until Zhang Xingyu left. Chapter 410. Wu Nian's heart sank. What happened? Just now, someone wanted to kidnap your friend. And there was a gunfight. Your friend's mother died trying to save your friend, Alan said. What? Wu Nian's mind was buzzing, and her nerves were numb. She couldn't believe it was the truth, and she was flustered. She wanted to confirm again. You said that Lu Shuang's mother is dead? I'm sorry, I didn't keep my promise. There were a total of 10 of them, and they were all top-notch foreign mercenaries. My men killed 9 of them, and the last one committed suicide, Alan said. Wu Nian was silent, and her heart couldn't take it anymore. How could Shuang Niu provoke these mercenaries? How could these mercenaries know where Shuang Niu was? The only explanation was that the news came from Sheniyan. Wu Nian hung up the phone, and her eyes were red. She called Sheniyan. Sheniyan didn't pick up. She clenched her fists and continued to call. This time, Sheniyan picked up. Did you do it? Wu Nian asked directly. No, I wouldn't hurt her, Sheniyan said. But the news must have come from you. Shuangniu didn't offend anyone, and she almost died because of you. Wu Nian clenched her teeth. I'm investigating it now, and I'll give you an explanation, Shinian promised. What's the use of giving me an explanation? Will Lu Shuang's mother come back to life? We're all sinners, and I shouldn't have told you Lu Shuang's address. If I didn't tell you, his mother wouldn't have died. Wu Nian's heart ached as she recalled the loving look of Lu Shuang's mother. Lu Shuang must be very sad now. I'm sorry. Shinian hung up the phone. Before she could grieve, Alan called, and Wu Nian answered. Was it you who told Shinian my address? Lu Shuang asked. Wu Nian could not deny it. I'm sorry. Why did you do that? Lu Shuang roared. I regard you as my only friend. I stayed by Shinian's side because of you. Because he said he loves you, Wu Nian explained. He said he loves me. Don't you know whether I love him or not? I wanted to get out of his captivity, didn't you know? Even if you want to tell him my address, you have to discuss it with me first. I told you everything, but you didn't tell me anything, and even stabbed me in the back. Are you my friend or not? Now that I think about your help, I feel disgusted. Lu Shuang complained while crying. Wu Nian knew that Lu Shuang was very sad now. She couldn't refute her accusation. I'm sorry. What's the use of sorry? My mother died right in front of me. She even took a bullet for me. For you, I once gave up my parents who loved me the most for 2 years. I hurt them all to protect you. But what did you do? You actually secretly told Shen Ian my whereabouts. What did you want to do? You wanted to kill me. Baya, why did you become so cold and heartless? Lu Shuang accused hysterically. I'm sorry. Apart from this sentence, all her explanations and self-righteousness were blank. After all, it was her fault. She should not have told Shen Ian the address. I'm sorry. I don't want your sorry. I will never forgive you for the rest of my life. I won't let you go either. Lu Shuang roared and hung up the phone. Wu Nian felt as if her heart was being cut by a knife. Blood was flowing out, and her body was so cold as if she had fallen into an ice house. What did she do? Everything she did was wrong. She should have died when she jumped into the sea. That way, Shuangniu wouldn't have lost her freedom. Because of her, she wouldn't have killed Shuangniu's mother. She wouldn't have made Gu Lingqing hate her so much. Xiaoyan might even be fine. It was all her fault. Her fault. Wu Nian burst into tears. She turned around and knelt on the bed. She hit the wall with her head 3 times. She couldn't die yet. Xiaoyan was still waiting for her to save him. She couldn't die yet. Wu Nian knelt on the bed weakly. She let the blood flow down her cheeks. She didn't call for the doctor or ask for help. Zhang Xingyu came back with breakfast. Seeing that Wu Nian had fainted on the bed, he immediately called for the doctor and performed emergency treatment. After some time, she opened her eyes and saw Gu Lingqing standing at the head of her bed. When he saw that she had woken up, his eyes flashed with hostility. He held her chin and gritted his teeth. You can die, but don't kill Xiaoyan. When you give birth to a child with matching blood, you can die like this. But before you have a matching child, you don't deserve to die, and I won't let you die. From today onwards, you will move back to my villa. Wu Nian looked at his hateful, fierce, and disgusted gaze. She pursed her lips and didn't say anything. Her tears flowed quietly. They used to love each other, and they would die for each other. How did they become like this? She should be the memory that Gu Lingqing wanted to erase the most. Why was she like this? Why was she like this? Her family, friends, and lover all hated her. Even if she died, it wasn't good for others to talk about her behind her back. She was in pain. But who could tell her what she should do? It was as if she was cursed by fate. Every step she took would bring destruction. I'm sorry. Wu Nian said these 3 words in a hoarse voice. Gu Lingqing was stunned, and there was a flash of pain in his eyes. The person you should be sorry to is not me, but Xiaoyan. Think about Xiaoyan. He didn't have a mother since the day he was born. Now he has to give up on him. Isn't he too pitiful? I didn't want to give up on him. Then what are you doing now? You killed yourself by hitting the wall. If you found out later, you would have died. Gu Lingqing said angrily. He clenched his fists so tightly that the veins on the back of his hands were bulging. I didn't want to kill myself. I'm just too sad. I killed Lu Shuang's mother. Shuang Niu could have taken her parents away and started a new life. It was me who told her address to Shen Yan. Wu Nian explained while crying. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened. His palms were filled with her tears. You can sympathize and feel guilty for Lu Shuang's mother. Why don't you feel sorry for me? Don't you know how much I've done for you and how much I've sacrificed? It's because you've done and sacrificed a lot for me. So, I don't want to hurt you anymore. My existence is just a burden to the people around me. Chapter 411. Gu Lingqing stared at her. So you pushed me away just because you were afraid of dragging me down? Isn't that so? When I jumped into the sea, I never thought about coming back to life. Lu Shuang sacrificed himself to save me, and then I killed his mother. If I were to be with you, things might change. You might offend Shen Yan in order to help me save Lu Shuang, and Shen Yan would deal with you. Shen Yan is a ruthless and cunning person. You are just a businessman now. Even if you have your father's support, you might not be a rival. You are just a businessman now. And Su Jiran. Su Jiran is a psychopath. If he knew that I am Baiya, he might frame you again. It is not because he loves me, but because he is not reconciled to it. Wu Nian analyzed and gradually calmed down. She seemed to have said something she shouldn't have said when she was emotional. She should have let Gu Lingqing continue to hate her, instead of saying everything because of the pain. Gu Lingqing's eyes became calm. He reached out and wiped the tears on her face. Baiya, you are a doctor. You shouldn't be so superstitious, and you shouldn't have so little confidence in me. If I can't even do this for you, I don't deserve your love. Baiya pushed Gu Lingqing's hand away. I am not superstitious. I am deducing it based on facts. And the result? Did you deduce that Lu Shuang's mother would die? Gu Lingqing asked. At least, Baiya paused and continued, you are still safe now. So because of your self-righteousness, you changed your appearance and even your bone marrow. Gu Lingqing's voice became cold. I changed my bone marrow for emergency treatment. Wu Nian explained. The two of them fell into silence. Gu Lingqing stood straight and looked at her with his deep eyes. Baiya lowered his eyes, not daring to look him in the eye. Just like that, half an hour passed. It felt like a century. Baiya, what is life to you? Gu Lingqing asked in a low voice. Baiya looked up at him and said simply, responsibility. What is your responsibility? Gu Lingqing asked. Baiya pursed her lips and said nothing. Do you want me to say it for you? Your responsibility is your mother, Yan Lu Shuang and me, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baiya still did not speak. Your mother is already dead. Little Yan is about to die. Lu Shuang was sent away by you. I am also someone you don't want anymore. Is it your next step? You are going to kill yourself? Gu Lingqing said coldly. I won't commit suicide. Yan won't die. Lu Shuang will be fine. Baiya promised. You mentioned Yan and Lu Shuang, but you didn't mention me. Baiya, are you really going to be so cruel to me? Gu Lingqing's eyes turned red. You will be fine in the future. Baiya added. Gu Lingqing sneered. Why? Is it because you won't be a burden? You seem to have forgotten what you said on the deserted island. I remember everything in the past. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have almost died on the sea. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have almost died on the deserted island. To me, you being alive is my biggest hope. Living like a zombie? Gu Lingqing raised his voice and interrupted her. His eyes were as red as blood. Do you think I'm willing to live without you? Baiya stared at Gu Lingqing. She couldn't control her tears anymore. Gu Lingqing held her hand with great strength. It was as if he wanted to hold on to her for the rest of his life. His gaze was firm and sharp. I'm also very tired. Every day of this kind of life is torture, hatred, disgust. Either we stay together, no matter what difficulties we encounter. Even if we die together. Or you, me, Xiaoyan, the three of us don't need to live anymore. Our family will leave this world and go to another world. There's no other world. People can't come back to life after they die, Baiya said while crying. Then do you think there's any meaning for me to live? I can't eat well every day. I can't sleep. Even if I close my eyes, my heart hurts like a knife. I want to die immediately to stop this pain. You can find a better one. You also deserve a better one. You can also find a better one. Why don't you find one? Since you've changed your appearance and even your DNA, you can live a new life. Why did you appear in my world? Why did you buy a boat to go back to that deserted island? Why did you risk your life to save me when you were at Stephen's place? Gu Lingqing asked coldly. He asked coldly as his chest heaved up and down unsteadily. Baya pursed her lips. She couldn't answer and turned her face away. Gu Lingqing didn't let her retreat. He turned her face so that she was facing him. I also want to forget you and live a new life, but I can't forget you just because I want to. Every time I think that you might die, I feel very painful. It's been 2 years. It's not 1 or 2 days, 1 or 2 months, but 2 years. If you don't appear, I don't know how long I'll be in pain. Or maybe one day when I drink too much, I'll die of gastric bleeding again. There was a fluctuation in Baye's eyes. She heard about him going to the hospital. Later, when Xiaoyan came back, he stopped drinking. Baye, either we live together or we die together. You choose. I respect your choice. Gu Lingqing said firmly and let go of her chin and hand. Baye looked down. He didn't give her a multiple-choice question. She only had one choice. How could she bear to let Gu Lingqing and Xiaoyan die? She held Gu Lingqing's arm. You must live well. Otherwise, I won't be able to forgive myself. Gu Lingqing held her hand and sat down by her bed. He looked at her with burning eyes and stroked her tear-stained face with his thumb. Baye, we've experienced life and death, separation and hurt. I only ask for one thing. Don't think about pushing me away again. Otherwise, I may be faster than you think. I may die faster than you think. Baye took a deep breath. She was emotional and hugged Gu Lingqing's waist. I don't want you to die. I want you to live proudly. Promise me you must live well. Then you must promise me that you will never leave me. Even if we die, we will die together. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baye cried and didn't answer. Either we live together or we die together. I'm not joking or threatening you. I mean what I say. Think about it carefully. Gu Lingqing said and pushed her away. Chapter 412. Let's talk about it later. Gu Lingqing didn't want to promise her. You've been in a coma for a long time, and you haven't eaten anything. You should be hungry. Gu Lingqing's reminder reminded her that she hadn't eaten for a few meals. She hadn't eaten for a day, but she didn't seem to feel hungry. Gu Lingqing turned around and went out. She stared at the white ceiling for a while, wondering how Lu Shuang was doing. She took out her mobile phone and called Alan. How is Lu Shuang now? Baye asked worriedly. She cremated her mother and is not in a good mood. Shiniyan's men are around. They are just watching but not doing anything, Alan said in a low voice. Please transfer them to Country D as soon as possible. Shiniyan has an enemy in Country D, which is the weakest. Relatively speaking, Lu Shuang will be safer there. Moreover, the mastermind has tried to assassinate Lu Shuang twice. This time he didn't succeed, and I suspect there will be a third time soon. Baye said in a deep voice. Okay. I'll transfer her tomorrow. Are you okay? I don't think it's your fault. You've prepared for everything. You just want her to be happy. I've told everything to Lu Shuang. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame me for not doing a good job. I'm sorry. Alan apologized sincerely. You've tried your best. In fact, it's my fault. If I didn't have Shiniyan, this wouldn't have happened. I just thought that Shiniyan loved her, but I didn't consider Lu Shuang's thoughts or discuss it with her. I was self-righteous. You don't have to comfort me. I understand. Baye didn't want to shirk the responsibility. Well, after I send her to Country D, I'll tell you her address. Wait for a suitable opportunity. You can tell her in person that your relationship is so good, and she will forgive you. It's precisely because she's good that the damage is magnified. After you send her to Country D, don't tell me her address. I don't know, and it's safer for her. Baye said apologetically. That's fine too. You don't have to be too sad. Perhaps this is her fate. I hope she'll be fine in the future. Baya saw Gu Lingqing coming in from the door. I'll hang up first. Thank you. You're welcome. You might be Grandpa Tang's granddaughter. I should help you. Alan hung up the phone. Gu Lingqing put the dishes on the bedside table and asked tentatively, Alan's call. I asked him to take care of Lu Shuang. Baya didn't deny it. Baya, would you rather ask someone else to do something for you than me? Gu Lingqing said coldly. Because I have a selfish motive. Gu Lingqing paused and roughly understood what she meant. She opened the plastic bag and said in a deep voice, I won't allow it in the future. Your man isn't so useless and useless. Baya felt warmth in her heart. She reached out and hugged Gu Lingqing's waist. She leaned her head on his waist. I don't think you're useless and useless. In my heart, you're amazing. I just don't want you to be in any danger. Gu Lingqing looked down at her thin and weak body. Her eyes softened a little. I'm not afraid of danger. I'm just afraid that you won't trust me. On these 2 points, we must balance and be on the same page. I won't do it in the future. I'll tell you everything. Baya said softly. Gu Lingqing moved her hand away. I've heard this sentence before. I don't know when you're telling the truth. Baya twitched the corner of her mouth. That's right. There were too many hypocritical words and lies. Even she herself felt that what she said was untrue. She might as well stop talking and look at the plastic bag. What did you buy? You're suffering from a cold and can't eat anything too greasy. I bought you shredded red carrots, tomatoes and eggs and mullet soup. Eat more. You're too skinny now. Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. She shook the headboard of her bed and placed the food on it. Baya smiled at him. He was still sizing her up. His eyes did not move away, afraid that he would not see her again if he did. You were at Avril's birthday banquet? You weighed 60 kilograms? About the same. At that time, she had just stopped taking medicine and was still quite fat. I felt that I looked good back then. I'm too skinny now. Really too skinny. Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Baya replied and lowered her head to eat. Gu Lingqing picked up a piece of fish, removed the bones, and placed it in her bowl. Tears welled up in Baya's eyes. He had always been nice to her. Even though he said bad things about her before, he was still nice to her now. What did she have to deserve Gu Lingqing's love? She sniffled and held back her tears. She looked at Gu Lingqing. I can't eat so much alone. Let's eat together. Gu Lingqing scooped a bowl of rice quietly. I bought the villa last time. You usually live there. That place is a bit far away. It's not convenient for Yan and Xiao Xian to go to school. Did you renovate the house after the fire? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing glanced at her casually. You don't live with Yan and Xiao Xian. Baya's heart skipped a beat. Gu Lingqing frowned. Take care of yourself first. Take care of the kids later. I will take good care of myself and you. I promise. Baya said anxiously. Yan is abroad and won't be back anytime soon. Are you going to compete with Zhou Hailan to take care of Xiao Xian? Then when will Yan be back? It's pitiful for him to be alone abroad without anyone to accompany him. The medicine in our country is very advanced. She wanted to see Yan. Yan's foster parents have been hired by me. They are taking care of Yan now. He won't feel lonely. They are the people he wants to see and be familiar with the most. Your task is to take care of yourself. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. She felt that Gu Lingqing did not want her to see Yan on purpose. Yan's condition is very serious, right? Baya asked worriedly. Don't worry. He can live for 3 years under normal circumstances. It's enough for you to have 3 children. Baya saw that he was so sure and did not look like he was lying. She lowered her head and ate. Gu Lingqing picked up another piece of fish for her. If you feel bored, you can come and be my assistant. Assistant? I'm not good at it. I've never learned it. Didn't you have a good negotiation with Emo Shui? Besides, I won't ask you to do too much. At most, you will answer the phone in the office, send me messages, organize some meetings, and occasionally accompany me to socialize. I won't ask you to drink. Just bring me home when I'm drunk. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya lowered her head and did not say anything. Chapter 413. I don't think that's a good idea. Baya was not ready yet. Why not? Gu Lingqing asked, staring at her coldly. I think it's better to be an assistant. Marriage is a bit too rushed. Of course you're not in a hurry. You're not even 30 this year, and you have a lot of suitors. Su Jiaran and a British aristocrat are gone. Maybe another one will appear. Gu Lingqing said in a strange tone. That's not what I mean. If I'm married, I'll feel uncomfortable being an assistant. Why don't I wait until I'm pregnant? First, I have time to prepare. Second, I can do nothing at home when I'm pregnant. Otherwise, I'll just stay at home and have nothing to do. Baya explained. Don't worry. I won't let anyone know that we're married. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice, and his eyes turned cold. Or do you have other thoughts? You don't want to marry me? No. Baya replied. Give birth to the child. We'll be together for 3 years. 3 years and 2 years. We can get married. That's it. When you're discharged from the hospital, bring the marriage certificate. I can keep our marriage a secret until you want to make it public. Gu Lingqing said domineeringly. She seemed to have no reason to refuse. She had already decided to be with him. If they didn't get married, she wouldn't feel guilty. However, she was still worried. Maybe it was because she had suffered too many losses. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Nothing will happen. I promise. Even if Su Jiaran wanted to kill me on the deserted island, I survived. Trust me. Baya nodded. Okay. She lay in the hospital for 6 days. Gu Lingqing let her out of the hospital after the doctor checked her again and confirmed that she was fine. He drove to the villa area. She looked out of the window and glanced at the time. Are you sure I usually live in the villa area? It's a bit far and I'm alone. Who said you're alone? I usually live there too. You get off work at 4:30. There's no traffic at this time. You don't want others to find out, right? It's safer there, Gu Lingqing said while looking ahead. You also live there? What about Xiao Xian? Baya was surprised. She thought that Gu Lingqing usually lived with Xiao Xian and only visited her occasionally. Xiao Xian has his mother to take care of him. I've arranged a nanny, a home tutor, and a family doctor for them, Gu Lingqing said coldly. Oh, Baya replied. Gu Lingqing looked at her. You care about Xiao Xian? Baya shook her head. First of all, you don't want this child. Secondly, even if you want it, it's your past. I was married in the past. Xiao Xian is your child, and you should take care of him. There are many things that are beyond our control, and there is no better solution. Let's maintain the status quo. Gu Lingqing held Baya's hand tightly. Just don't make me angry in the future. Baya didn't say anything and let him hold her hand. She looked out of the window leisurely, enjoying the rare moment. After driving for a while, Gu Lingqing stopped at the entrance of a supermarket. What do you want to eat for lunch? I'll make it for you. I'll make it for you. What do you want to eat? Baya unbuckled her seatbelt. Gu Lingqing smiled. I'll eat whatever you make besides the crayfish. He got out of the car and wanted to open the door for her. She opened the door herself. He locked the door, walked in front and pushed the trolley. Baya remembered that he liked to eat braised pork with preserved vegetables. She specially bought the best streaky pork, Artemisia selingensis, spinach, cucumber, tomato, and eggs. This is the supermarket closest to the villa. You can buy vegetables here every time you pass by, Gu Lingqing said as he pushed the trolley. Okay. They went to pay the bill together. Baya blushed when she saw that it was a box of birth control products. She took a box. Aren't you going to have a child? Gu Lingqing looked at her. Haven't I been on an anti-inflammatory medication these few days? I can't have a child within a week. I'm still in the ovulation period, Baya explained. Gu Lingqing looked at her with a strange look in his eyes. He took another box. Baya. She lowered her head and looked left and right to ease the awkwardness. The waiter paid the bill. Gu Lingqing carried the plastic bag. She walked behind him, deliberately keeping a 1-meter distance. Gu Lingqing stopped and waited for her. Why are you so far away? We're going to be husband and wife soon. What's wrong with buying condoms together? It was indeed not a big deal, but she was embarrassed. She walked to his side awkwardly. Gu Lingqing held her hand and walked until they got into the car and drove back. On the way, Baiyu received a call from Alan. She remembered that Alan said that he would only be coming on October 15th. He hadn't arrived yet. She answered the phone in surprise. What's wrong? We've lost contact with Lu Shuang. Baya's heart tightened and she asked worriedly. What do you mean? Was she kidnapped? Where's her father? No, she disappeared on her own. She should have other friends in Country D who picked her up, Alan explained. Baya breathed a sigh of relief. She had heard from Lu Shuang that she had friends in Country D, but Lu Shuang disappeared this time on purpose so that she couldn't find him. It seemed that she hadn't forgiven her. It's good that she's safe. Thank you. Baya thanked him. Her mother just passed away and her mood has been unstable. She'll be fine after some time. After all, you're good friends. She'll be fine, Alan comforted her. Okay. Baya answered and hung up. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked. Lu Shuang has completely disappeared. I might never see him again in this life. I'm a little disappointed, but I know that this is the best outcome, Baya said sadly. You have me and Xiaoyan. We'll have other children in the future, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya looked out of the window. She didn't need many friends. One was enough. One was enough. After a while, Gu Lingqing drove home. Before Baya entered the door, she heard a bark. She smiled. Her dog was here too. Gu Lingqing opened the door and the dog ran out, wagging its tail. It circled Gu Lingqing and looked at her. It was stunned for a moment, then it barked again and circled around her. Baya guessed that it recognized her. She squatted down and touched the dog's head. Xiaoqing recognized me, right? Xiaoqing? Gu Lingqing frowned. Oh, that's Qing from Sunny Day. It's not Gu Lingqing's Qing. Baya stood up and explained. I didn't ask which Qing it is, but I don't think this name is suitable for it. Its fur is all white. Let's call it Xiaobai, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya. This stingy man. Then we'll call it Bai Qing. You call it Xiaobai and I'll call it Xiaoqing. No one loses out, Baya said. Chapter 414. She didn't think of this when she named him. She just thought that the name Xiaoqing sounded very sunny. However, she had always loved him. Baya raised the corner of her mouth slightly and put her hand gently on his waist. Let's be good in the future. Okay. We'll be fine. I'll cook first. I'll call you when it's ready, said Baya gently. I'll usually be in the study. We'll pick up the marriage certificate in the afternoon, said Gu Lingqing. Baya's eyes sparkled. She still remembered that they were very happy when they got married last time. On the day of the wedding, Zhou Hailong came back, leaving her in so much pain that her illness broke out uncontrollably. Now her mental illness was under control, but she still had some lingering fears. Are you going to let your parents know? It depends on you. If you want them to know, then let them know. If you don't want them to know, I'll never let them know. Even if we have a child, it'll only be our child, Gu Lingqing promised. Baya was very touched, and her eyes became misty. Gu Lingqing always put her first. She could feel that he really cared about her. In the past, she didn't want to return to the family, because she was afraid of changing the trajectory of others' lives. But now that she was going to be with Gu Lingqing, the identity of an orphan was too far away from him. Even if they were determined to be together, it was not a matter of two people, but two families. She needed a respectable identity to make the barrier between the two of them smaller. She just didn't know if Mr. Tang would be her grandfather. She had her bone marrow changed. Under normal circumstances, the DNA in the bone marrow, blood, and immune system would change, but the DNA in other places, such as organs and muscles, would not change. When the time came, there should be an instrument to extract it. By the way, the DNA in the egg should not have changed. When the time came, they could do a paternity test by using the egg in advance. If it was possible, they could also breed a test tube baby. That way, Xiaoyan would have a higher chance of being saved. What are you thinking about? Gu Lingqing saw that she was meditating and asked. Gu Lingqing, I'm thinking that since my fertility rate is low, we can have a few children through test tube. That way, Xiaoyan can be saved easily. Baya suggested. Xiao Xian was also born this way. He doesn't seem to have any problems. If everyone had children this way, the world would be in chaos. Baya held Gu Lingqing's hand. We were forced to do this to save Xiaoyan. Besides, we are also using natural methods to conceive. Anyway, it's not like we can't afford to raise a few more children, right? Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. Little Ya, promise me, no matter what happens you won't leave me, and you're not allowed to be angry. Xiaoyan, Baya said, looking at him. Xiaoyan is Xiaoyan. Xiaoya. Xiaoyan is not sick. Gu Lingqing said. Baya was stunned. She let go of Gu Lingqing's hand and looked at his eyes. He looked a little uncomfortable. If I didn't do that, you would definitely leave me. Maybe you would leave me forever. You lied to me. Baya understood. No wonder he left Xiaoyan abroad and didn't let her see him. She was annoyed and punched Gu Lingqing on the shoulder. Do you know how worried I was? You lied to me and didn't let me take care of Xiaoyan. Gu Lingqing, you went too far. Gu Lingqing clenched her fist and said helplessly. Didn't you go too far? You pretended not to see me. Even when we met on the deserted island, you wanted to leave immediately. Are you going to let me have children all the time? Having children is not my goal. But in order to keep you, I am going to keep saying that the children are not suitable for you. Gu Lingqing was honest. Baya pulled her hand out and turned her face away. Gu Lingqing hugged her from behind. I don't know what to do either. You're not willing to be with me, and you have other plans when you face me. You're not even prepared to tell me. Even when I'm angry, insulted, and hurt without restraint, you're determined to leave. Baya, when we were together, we were still young. Now we are going to be middle-aged. Life is only a few decades. I don't want to waste time chasing after you. Let's be together. Baya listened to his voice and gradually calmed down. Compared with Gu Lingqing, she had made more mistakes. Only by giving people a chance to turn around could she have a bright future. She was not angry with Gu Lingqing. She turned around and hugged Gu Lingqing, leaning her head on his chest. Can you let Xiaoyan go home? Xiaoyan's illness is fake, but it's true that someone poisoned him. I am worried that I don't have enough time to take care of him. So I sent him abroad and let his adoptive parents take care of him. If you want to see him, I can take you there. But wait for me to arrange it. And it's better not to do so for the time being. In case someone follows us. Poisoned? Is it Zhou Hailan? Baya was worried. Gu Lingqing shook his head. No, my people are watching Zhou Hailan closely. It's not her. Xiao Xian. Baya felt a little creeped out when she thought that such a young child could learn how to poison people. No, I have people watching him and Zhou Hailan. Baya was worried. Then who could it be? I found an old servant on my mother's side, but the old servant had already committed suicide. I checked the old servant's family, and they had all immigrated to country X 3 months ago. I asked my friends over there to check, but they didn't find the old servant's family. I suspect that they might have changed their identities. They disappeared into the crowd. It's more likely that they were killed, Gu Lingqing guessed. Then who could it be? Why would they want to harm Xiaoyan? Xiaoyan is still so young. He doesn't have any enemies. If they want to deal with you, why didn't they target you? Baya was confused. I don't know. I can't find out. It's just like when Xiaoyan went missing. Then how did you find Xiaoyan? Baya was surprised. During that period, I drank every day and went to the hospital with gastric bleeding. Someone sent Xiaoyan to me and said that he was my son. I did a paternity test. I also asked Xiaoyan and your mother to do a paternity test to confirm that he was our child. So those people sent Xiaoyan to you because they were afraid that you would die. Chapter 4:15. Baya understood. Then we'll take one step at a time. We'll be careful and wait for the enemy to reveal a flaw. Gu Lingqing kissed Bai Ye's forehead. So, let's let nature take its course regarding the child. We already have Xiaoyan anyway. Bai Ye nodded. I'll go cook first. She turned and entered the kitchen. Gu Lingqing followed her into the kitchen. I'll help you. Bai Ye smiled and lowered her head to wash the vegetables. She said softly, the life I miss the most is when we were on the deserted island. We rose at sunrise and rested at sunset. There were surprises every day and we forgot about our troubles. It was like a paradise on earth. When Xiaoyan grows up, I'll give the company to Xiaoyan. We'll go live on the island. I've already bought the island. It's mine now. I've asked scientists to study it. Under normal circumstances, the island won't sink within 100 years. I'll find someone to slowly build a protective belt. Protective belt? What do you mean? It means that the island is divided into two parts. One part is for the wild beasts to grow naturally. The other part is to prevent the wild beasts from coming over, so that we can live safely. Snakes, insects, rats, and ants can dig holes, right? Bai Ye smiled. I'll also do some protective work on this part, but there's no rush. I estimate that it'll take at least 2 years to complete it. After it's done, we can also go on vacation. If you're worried, we can stay on your ship for the time being. I'll also install a satellite positioning system there. When the time comes, we can contact the outside world. It won't be in a state where there's no network or signal, Gu Lingqing imagined. Sounds good. I remember a poet called Tao Yuanming. He wrote a story called Peach Blossom Spring. It's roughly about him passing through a narrow cave and arriving at a paradise. The people there planted fertile fields and raised chickens and pigs. They were far away from conflicts and didn't know there were Han. No matter if it was Wei or Jin. They were hospitable. You still remember this? Gu Lingqing was curious. He remembered learning this article when he was young, but he had forgotten most of it. I like these charming poems, especially Li Qingzhao, Li Yu and Su Shi. Wu Nian chatted casually. Su Shi? Shui Diao Getu? This poem isn't bad either, but my favorite is his Jiangqingzi. 10 years of life and death, never thinking about it, naturally unforgettable. 1,000 miles of lonely grave, no place to speak of desolation. Even if we meet, we should not know each other. Dust-covered face, hair like frost. Bai Ye simply recited a few sentences. I don't feel well. Gu Lingqing put the washed tomatoes on the plate. I think that Su Shi is also a man of love, to be able to miss his dead wife after 10 years. After all, during his time, men had 3 wives and 4 concubines. Bai Ye took the tomato and diced it. And Gu Lingqing answered and helped her wash the eggs. Bai Ye took the egg from Gu Lingqing's hand. All right, you've been accompanying me for the past few days, so you must have missed a lot of work. Go and do your work. Anyway, you have to do it anyway. I'll cook alone. All right. Gu Lingqing kissed her on the cheek and walked out of the kitchen. The dog came in and surrounded her feet. Woof woof woof. I don't know where to put the dog food. I'll buy you some delicious food when I go out this afternoon. Bai Ye said softly and patted the dog's head. The dog stretched its neck comfortably and whimpered. Bai Ye's smile widened. She washed her hands and began to cook. Half an hour later, the aroma of food came from the kitchen. She took the opportunity to cut a honeydew and sent it to Gu Lingqing. When she walked to the door of the study, she heard him on the phone. I don't want anyone to know. Just do this first. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Bai Ye felt that it was impolite to eavesdrop at the door. She thought for a moment, knocked on the door and pushed it open. That's all. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone. Did I disturb your work? Bai Ye said apologetically. No, I have a business meeting tonight. Come with me. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice and put the phone on the table. Have some fruit. This honeydew is quite sweet. Bai Ye put the honeydew on the table. Gu Lingqing took a toothpick and ate it. His eyes were still on the computer. Bai Ye saw that there was nothing else for her to do. She turned around and was about to leave. Xiaoya! Gu Lingqing shouted. Bai Ye looked at him. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing wanted to say something but stopped. His eyes flickered for a moment. I want to ask, when are we eating? About half an hour. Baya stared at Gu Lingqing. She could tell that Gu Lingqing didn't want to talk to her about this matter. However, he didn't want to talk about it. Even if she asked, he wouldn't say it. Then she wouldn't ask. Baya turned around again. Gu Lingqing didn't call her. She walked out of the door and went to the kitchen. Everyone had secrets and things that they couldn't say. Even if the other party was their other half, they still needed their own space. What she could do was not to burden Gu Lingqing. He didn't want to tell her, so he naturally had his reasons. Half an hour later, she finished cooking. The food was delicious. The dog kept following her. She guessed that the dog was hungry. She went upstairs again. Before she knocked on the door, Gu Lingqing opened it. I wanted to call you for dinner. Baya smiled. I heard Xiaobai barking. I think the food is ready. Gu Lingqing came out of the study. Oh yeah, where's Xiaobai's dog food? I think he's starving. Baya called the dog Xiaobai. Gu Lingqing was touched. He hugged her waist and said softly, in the cabinet above the kitchen. Well, I'll feed him later. Do you usually feed him rice? Baya asked suspiciously. Food. Whatever I eat, he eats. No wonder the dog kept following her when she was cooking. It turned out that he was used to eating human food. Then I'll feed him some later. The biscuits can be a snack. Baya walked towards the stairs. Gu Lingqing watched her make 4 dishes. Spinach, shredded pork with Artemisia celengensis, tomato and egg soup, and braised pork with preserved vegetables. Gu Lingqing ate 2 bowls of rice. Baya's appetite was also stimulated by him, so she ate a full bowl. In the afternoon, after she washed the dishes and took care of the dog, Gu Lingqing took her to the Civil Affairs Bureau. She had been married 3 times, so she was very familiar with the process. For safety, she used Wu Nian's ID. After getting the certificate, Gu Lingqing took her to take wedding photos. The reason was that the wedding photos were only for collection, and he would only hang them up if she agreed. Baya saw that he had made up his mind, so she didn't say anything more. She went to the most famous photo studio in City A and made an appointment for next week. Gu Lingqing didn't take her back, but took her to Gu's. On the way, Gu Lingqing held Baya's hand, looked ahead solemnly and said, I've thought about it, and I don't think there should be any secrets between us. There's something I think you should know. Chapter 416. What? Baya waited for Gu Lingqing to speak. Xiaohe has been arrested. She will probably be sent to the military court soon. If there are no accidents, she will be executed, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya's heart skipped a beat. She thought of Xiaohe's delicate face. She thought that she was miserable, but it seemed that compared to Xiaohe, she was lucky. Where was she arrested? Baya asked with sympathy in her eyes. She was arrested as soon as she appeared at the airport in a country. The one who arrested her was my former subordinate. He told me before he reported it, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. You think she's a spy? Baya asked as she tugged on her seatbelt. At first I was sure. I thought that only she and I would survive. If it wasn't her, there wouldn't be anyone else. But then Zhou Hailan appeared. There must be a spy between her and Zhou Hailan. But because Zhou Hailan was disfigured, imprisoned, treated inhumanely, and even had a child, she was more convincing than Xiaohe in front of the public. After all, Xiaohe disappeared for no reason and was unharmed, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. So even if she was wronged, she could only die. Baya's eyes dimmed. Although she had only interacted with Xiaohe a few times, she felt that Xiaohe was a good person. He was tough and tenacious. In fact, after Zhou Hailan appeared, I asked someone to keep an eye on her. She hasn't been abnormal for 2 years. If she's a spy, it doesn't make sense. You also think that Xiaohe is a spy? Baya understood what he meant. To be exact, I don't know. Because I think what you said makes sense. If she's a spy, she shouldn't be so miserable. If she's a spy, there's no need for her to come back. Also, was she arrested as soon as she appeared at the airport? This doesn't make sense, unless someone knows her movements like the back of their hand, Baya said suspiciously. Gu Lingqing stopped the car and looked at Baya with a sharp gaze. Baya looked at him, puzzled. What's wrong? If someone knows her movements like the back of his hand, who do you think it would be? Gu Lingqing asked. Su Jiran? No, when Su Jiran went to the island, Xiahe had already left. Shiniyan? No, Lu Shuang wouldn't tell Shiniyan this. Who could it be? Maybe Xiahe met someone after he went out. Baya guessed. Gu Lingqing was silent. He looked ahead as if he was thinking about something. What's wrong? Baya held Gu Lingqing's hand and asked worriedly. Gu Lingqing made a call. Leng Shuang, how did you catch Xiahe? There was an anonymous call to me. He said that he could catch Xiahe at the airport, so I sent someone there, Leng Shuang said. Can you find out who called you? No, the person's phone number is a virtual account, and it's mobile. I suspect that the signal was sent from a car, Leng Shuang said. Cancel the previous decision. Detain Xiahe first and report it to the higher-ups, Gu Lingqing ordered again. Baya understood. When he made the call, he ordered, I don't want anyone to know, so you do it first. He probably meant that he didn't want anyone to know that Xiahe had been caught, and didn't report it to the higher-ups. He also wanted to protect Xiahe. Unfortunately, this was a trap set by the enemy. If he didn't let Leng Shuang report it, not only would Leng Shuang die, but he would also die. This trap was very likely to be targeted at him. I'm sorry, Gu Lingqing said to Baya after he hung up the phone. I hope that Xiahe is a spy. Otherwise, it would be very unjust. Baya pulled a gloomy smile. I still remember that time when I brought them out and watched them die one by one in front of me. If Xiahe wasn't a spy, I wouldn't be able to eat or sleep well for the rest of my life when I saw my only remaining brother die in front of me. Report it to the higher-ups, I will save her, Gu Lingqing said. Qing said in a deep voice. Perhaps this action of yours is also within their expectations. They will say that you and Xiahe are together, so you are a spy. In addition to the fact that you were framed previously, I'm afraid you can't even protect yourself. I think we should take our time to think about it. Baya was worried that something might happen to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing was silent. He started the car and didn't say anything, but his brows were tightly knitted. Baya was worried. Can you arrange for me to meet Xiahe? Gu Lingqing nodded. I'll ask Leng Shuo to arrange it. We should be able to meet before dinner. Gu Lingqing didn't go to the company. After contacting Leng Shuo, he asked Baya to go to Ying's secret base after a few anti-tracking techniques. When Xiahe saw Baya, he was very excited. He grabbed the metal bars and asked, Why are you here? Yes, why are you back? Baya asked in return. Baya. Xiahe looked around, held Baya's palm and wrote in her palm. Other than you, I can't find anyone else I can trust. Baya looked at Xiahe with a heavy heart. Sometimes being trusted was also a kind of burden. I also have a lot of things to ask you. I've told you before that if you want to come back, there must be a complete way. Baya held Xiahe's hand and wrote in her palm. I know a secret about that operation. Xiahe looked at Baya. Baya also looked at her. Her mind was buzzing, as if a bone was suddenly exposed in an airtight egg. It was a creepy feeling. She was very nervous. She pulled out her hand and clenched her fists. The more secrets one knew, the faster one would die. This was always a truth. She was worried that she would fall into a quagmire and be unable to get out. From then on, her life with Gu Lingqing would be in a mess again. Baya. Xiahe called her. Baya came back to her senses and stared at Xiahe. Perhaps, from the beginning of that operation, Gu Lingqing's life had changed. As his girlfriend Zhou Hailan disappeared, many of his brothers died in that battle. When he went back to carry out the mission, he was drugged. After taking her, someone extracted his sperm and made Zhou Hailan pregnant. This meant that there was a group of people behind the two missions. After she was pregnant, someone took Xiaoyan away. When Gu Lingqing was depressed, someone sent Xiaoyan back. After sending him back, someone wanted to poison Xiaoyan. Not only that, Xiahe's matter was obviously a trap for Gu Lingqing. The reason for all this was like a huge mystery shrouding her. She slowly reached out to Xiahe. Perhaps, the answer to everything was in the secret of that mission. After she knew the secret, she could find the people behind it. From then on, Gu Lingqing and Xiao Yin would be far away from danger and conspiracy. Xiaohe held Bai Ye's hand. You're tuning in to the Li Mei Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.